Hey, thanks for joining me for this episode of the HipHopHumboldt Podcast. I really appreciate y'all's time and joining me. I most specifically am thankful for DJ Goldylocks, who's in the studio right now. This is the HipHopHumboldt home studio. And thanks for coming, Goldy.
Hey, it's an honor, man. Thank you so much.
Hey, man, the honor's all mine, family. You know what I'm saying? I've known about what you've been doing around here for years, fam, and just seeing you, just come up and, spin different genres around here. This is the HipHopHumboldt Podcast, but you're not confined to hip-hop.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about what I get to do, in the community is, I'm more about music. I don't want to get pigeonholed, you know what I mean? And I'm so grateful that I get to do what I do for a living. I mean, I don't make a lot of money, but I get to do it still. It brings me something.
Hey, man, you get to paint an important picture, man. You create the vibes.
Well, I'm not trying to create the vibes. I'm trying to just expose people to them. It's not about creating it for me. It's more just that it's not, especially growing up in Humboldt, there's so few options. Everybody that's grown up here, I think they can understand that, dude. There's so little options. 10 years ago, man, the people that have been putting it down and, helping to, really build the scene around here deserve all of that respect. Because, before that, it was hard, man. And it still is. It's still hard to, seek great music. It's getting easier with social media and shit, but, when I get to go out and DJ events, bringing hip-hop to the scene in some way, shape, or form is important to me because people identify with it, And it's one of my favorite forms of music, so it's important for me to be able to, represent and hold true to, my identity.
Well, I love hearing that, Goldy, because you've done a lot for this community, for the hip hop community, for just the sound, of this local area, and so I definitely want to get into, some of your influences. I think that there's going to be a lot of folks that are going to be interested in hearing this. On one of the last podcasts I did with the Rats, the Dirty Rats. Shout out to the Dirty Rats. We went around and did, we're not going to do it. We don't have to do it right now, you know what I'm saying? But we went around and did a top 5 MCs and top 5 producers, you know what I'm saying? So it was good to hear, everybody's different influences and what they were, what they really feel and tap in with. So what about you? What's your influences?
They change. What I grew up hearing was a lot of doo-wop, a lot of classic rock and roll. Just on the radio stations, that and what was contemporary pop music at the time. But I'm really blessed to be the youngest of 3. So I have an older brother and I have an older sister. And we're all 3 years apart, and so I got the trickle down effect. Yeah. I got to see all their mistakes and make better moves, but I also got exposed to so much music from them. My sister, shouts out to my sister Amber, I love her so much.
Yeah.
She put me on to really cool things like Janet Jackson and Paula Abdul and the Beatles and Madonna. And my brother, I give him a lot of credit because he introduced me to Bay Area hip hop.
Okay.
He had CDs when I was a kid with Selly Cell and E40 and Mac Dre.
Oh yeah.
And they were, for what you could find in Humboldt County, I would definitely consider them not their bangers and radio or more popular tracks. They were definitely a little bit harder to find songs, and so that was really influential on me in a hilarious way. I know some people probably think that listening to E40 at a young age might not be good or too short.
No, who's thinking that, man? Those aren't our people, though. Man.
I feel you,
no.
But no, that was a huge influence on me. And at the same time, my brother also went through these phases of listening to metal, straight death metal and black metal. And so, and he's a percussionist, so I'm used to just always having a rhythm somewhere in the house, whether it's annoying or not. So, I mean, yeah, he definitely helped me train my ear and have a good sense of rhythm. I give him a lot of credit for that.
Drummers are crucial for that, man.
But he's also musically on another level than I think I could ever be on. He can play like almost any instrument.
Oh, wow.
Give him like 20 minutes and he can play it.
Oh, we're talking a savant.
Yeah, like he can like pick up the horn and play the horn. He can play the piano. He's crazy on drums. Like he's incredible on percussion. And so I've always been really, in a healthy way, jealous of him for that. And I think it's hilarious because as like a turntablist and someone who just like fell in love with scratching records, he thinks that scratching records is hard. He doesn't understand it. He's like, I don't know how you do that. Even though I get it and I understand the equipment you're using, like I don't know how you do that. And so, but the music that they put me onto is so influential. My parents are both, rock and roll to the bone. My mom loves Led Zeppelin. My dad loves Pink Floyd. And that was really like the bread and butter from them. My mom's way cool. She got me into like Prince and Rick James.
Okay.
But
some funk and soul influences there.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, I started to get influenced a lot growing up by the music that hip hop was sampling. I'm a huge sample nerd. It's one of my favorite ways to dig and find records. Whether it's just coincidental. I love it when I buy a record for one reason, then I found out, oh shit, that's the sample from like a People Under the Stairs album or a record, or I remember when I came across Red Clay by accident from Freddie Hubbard and then realized that's a Tribe Called Quest sample. You gotta wait like 9 minutes to get the sample, but if you're familiar with like the melody and the bass, like you hear it from the jump and you're like, oh. And they just don't take that essence until the very end. But yeah, so that was also super influential on me. And I guess one thing that I've always kind of understood about myself is I also used, because I grew up in McKinleyville. I don't know how many people, I feel like I say that a lot. I've teased and kind of jab at McKinleyville for how it's raised me and the people that were around me at the time. But when you grow up in McKinleyville and you don't have access to like, too much further than how far can you bike, how far can you hike, your world really isn't that big. And so I love to use records and music to escape. That's a huge thing. So when people are like, you listen to Illmatic and it makes you feel like you're there, it really does, bruh. That's the best part about it. Like, you listen to Herbie Hancock and you feel like you are floating through the clouds and looking down at things that only your mind's eye can create.
The power of music is so strong.
Yeah, that's very much a catalyst moment for me. So I'm influenced by chance just as much as the music that I'm giving a chance to.
That's the bar right there.
But yeah, I mean, I love soul music. I love hip hop. Like hip hop is such a bug for me. I went through so many different phases and damn near identity crises. As like a young kid who's just like, I love this, but I don't know how to like really put myself out there in like anything but a naive way. How does a 13-year-old kid from McKinleyville identify with DMX and then express himself? So I've had some interesting situations growing up around here and just loving what I love and trying to do that unapologetically. It's got its moments of oddness, but I would say if I give it a chance, I feel like I'm inspired by so much music. Yeah, and I mean, once I got into DJing, then you start to get into producing and sampling, and that's a whole trip in itself when you're just trying to listen to records for how can I utilize this in a crazy way. Why am I listening to a record that's just nothing but bird songs? You know what I mean?
But you really do start to listen to music differently.
French stories. I don't speak French. You know what I mean? But like if you dig through some of my crates, you're going to come across things that are just bizarre, dude. And it's like, you can get inspired by those things. So, I don't know how well that answers that question, but
no, that's solid.
I draw influence from as much as I can. whether it really hits home or not, kind of comes out in how I DJ. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what's up. I definitely feel I can when I see you DJ, when I'm around it, I feel it through the energy. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that I think I told you soon after meeting you and having seen you DJ at, shout out to Fat Bowl and the Fat Bowl Cypher.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But I had said that, you have control of your sound. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that comes with time, practice, but you also have to have a couple. There's some mixtures. It's like that chemistry, like you're talking about, where you have to have vision and you have to have the talent. And so you have both of those, and you were able to bring it together to create these. Like Eli Fowler said on the podcast, to paint these pictures that they're just moments in time. But it's energy and it's vibe, and it's so meaningful for people because that's the stuff that people remember.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, moving with integrity and being genuine is so important. Those are those lasting impressions. So.
Yep, it's true. Man, so shout out again. Talking about the Fat Bowl Cypher. The Fat Bowl Cypher is something that you've been DJing for years now. But I definitely think that there was I don't want to skip between, when you started dabbling in DJing and scratching, between when you just started coming up and, to, now in the last few years of you doing the Fat Bowl Cypher. What was it like for you? What was, what was the growth like? What were you doing?
Oh, man. At first, it was strictly passion. So before I was anything in the world of like successful, or at least like I'm able to pay a few bills off of DJing, or being able to work in radio. I was a chef. I was a line cook. I definitely cut my teeth in a lot of great kitchens, and when I moved back from this crazy little trip up to Alaska I did for a year, I had to find a way to live. So I got a job at Arcade Pizza in Delhi.
Hey.
And that was cool. I was doing other things around town as like a young 20-year-old. And I just kind of when I moved to Alaska, I left my brother with some things. One of them was like my one crate of vinyl that I had been collecting my entire childhood. And
he got the crate.
No, he doesn't have it. He sold my crate. He sold my crate, like all my stuff, and not in a rude way, but like I was like, I'm gonna try to go make a living up in Alaska. I'll be back when I'm back, and I just kind of left him with my stuff, and like I get it. I don't have any resentment towards him for it, but that was just something I wanted to do. I was like, I want to pick up my collection again. I want to get back to like digging in crates, heading over to People's. And then I found out my friends Matt and Adam, that were working at People's for so long, had started their own record store called The Missing Link. And I just tapped in, dude. I fully.
Heck yeah.
Those dudes were able to put me on to so much music, and just like hanging out in the shop, talking about life, and just having music around was the best. I got to work at the co-op for a while. Employees at the co-op, at least back then, you could go to like the, past its due date produce section that they kept in the back in the employee area, and you could take whatever was there. And I used to go over there and hook those dudes up with fresh-ish vegetables. Still great stuff. I mean, it's Humboldt County, man.
Yeah.
And I would hook them up with things, and I would get little discounts on vinyl, or we would, try to pay them in some weeds. It was this beautiful, like, Humboldt County relationship. Mm-hmm. And, like, that was huge for me. And I was just going there and spending my money and hanging out and making friends, buying this record, buying that record. And just getting gems, like absolute gems. I got People Under the Stairs first piece on vinyl, and I didn't even know who they were. when Matt hooked it up. He was like, they were digging down in the bay, and they came up with like a van worth of vinyl, and he was like, I put this record aside for you. I figured you'd really want it. And I'm like, what the fuck is People Under the Stairs? Completely peeled my fucking wig back, dude. Like,
yeah,
they're kind of like the pinnacle for me now. At the time, I think Hieroglyphics and like Tribe Called Quest was my everything. People Under the Stairs just kind of took a seat very casually. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely, bro.
And just like other things. First time I heard Tyler, the Creator, was in their shop.
Oh, sick.
You know?
The young Tyler.
Super. When it was like, this motherfucker's offensive.
Oh, yeah.
But in like a punk kind of rock way, it was beautiful. Mm-hmm. And so for anybody that was a little bit anti-establishment, still had some of that in them, gorgeous. Absolutely delicious. But, so, next thing you know, I got all these records. I got 2 turntables. I got a mixer. I bought the Newmark DJ in a Box kit because I broke ass. It's all I could afford.
You ain't the only one, bro. A lot of people bought that kit.
Hella cheap ass plastic turntables, 2-channel battle mixer, completely phonograph. Like, and I didn't have a TV. I didn't have a lot of internet access at the time. And yeah, dude, I like to read and listen to my records. And if I had the energy or the want, I'll put on one of those special herbs from MF Doom and anything I could try to get that sound out of and just scratch. And just scratch and scratch and scratch and scratch. After a while, friends would like come over and like we would like party at my house and shit and enjoy our evenings and things. And it kind of grew into this like, well, dude, what are you going to do with all this? You got all these records and like, you obviously have like the equipment. Like, why don't you like apply yourself, bruh? And that kind of turned into an opportunity to do pirate radio, which was at the time like terrifying. Like, it was hella scary. I had to like sit in the middle of this group of pirates and they just jabbed me with questions. You know, it was the harshest interview I've ever been in. But it was a really amazing situation because I got to learn how to put together a radio station. I got to understand what it really means to like broadcast a signal out to people to receive. And also kind of like the task of doing that with integrity and to like, I was young, I was hella stupid, I talked a lot of shit, but I played a lot of great music. And that kind of opened some doors. Small doors, but still like opportunities nonetheless.
What about years was the pirate radio when that happened?
That was probably a good 15 years ago for me now. Yeah, because I was like 22. 21, 22, around that age is when I got into it. And it was still fun, and I love the local pirate scene around here to this day, but it was getting to a situation where we were growing. And with growth comes issues of capital and also like checking people. Like when you got a group of fucking rowdy ass pirates, dude, some of them get out of line, and you know, certain people were just making it more difficult for us to have like a safe place. And so they started to implement changes that were healthy, but also for me, at this point in time, I had moved to Eureka. And so I was driving to Arcata to broadcast, and I'm paying money. It's not really okay to like drink and smoke while you're in the studio, you know, because it's a place that we were actually leasing as like a business. And so we just, you know, we had to play ball, and it was just starting to lose some of its gusto for me. I had been doing it for, I think I did pirate radio for at least 5-7 years.
Oh, wow.
Time is always a little bit relative to me. I fuck it up easily. But, and I just was like, you know, I can go out and DJ cool events for the community and broadcast in a different way. I can make money doing it, which was never really important, but I can also save the money that I'm paying every month to buy more vinyl.
There you go.
It is such a stupid way. I was like, that's $20 every month that I'm not spending on records.
Yeah, but let the hobby fund the hobby.
It used to be a problem, dude. Like, for real. And it lightweight is, but I'm getting better at it. Because I'm not having to invest so much money in physical format. I'm going more digital, you know?
Yeah. And then now the vinyls are even more expensive, so you really got to invest money if you want to do it now. Yeah, I know.
Whoa, dude. Love Friends of Sound, the new spot in Eureka. I went in there the other day. They had That's One, where the Peace Lock ends, and it's a fucking incredible record.
Oh man,
listen to that. Listen to that record. They had it for damn near $200. Okay. I found that at Amoeba shortly after it was released, and I picked it up for $17.
Hey, shout out to Amoeba Music, man.
I'm kicking myself for not buying 2 copies, because, they had like 18. Oh. And, when you go to Amoeba down in Hollywood, they have like a whole, you don't have just, you got Stankonia in a 3-4 inch thick stack. You got, Equimini in a thick ass stack.
Yep.
Fuck that, man. You can get triples and quadruples and.
Yeah, for cheap.
Yeah, hella. But let's see. So where are we at? We're at Pirate Radio?
Yeah.
All right. So I had to transition out of that. The drive was killing me. I know I could use that money in a different way. Shouts out to my friend Clark. She helped me get in doing some park cleanups, which sounds weird, but it was really beautiful. And I love playing like soul music out and about for the community. I noticed that kids be dancing to Earth, Wind & Fire and they don't know who Earth, Wind & Fire is. Your dad's busting a 2-step Smile Green, and it was just so beautiful to see people in the community being themselves and having a good time and kind of catching that vibe from good music. And I just tapped into that. I really loved that. And even though I didn't do it for a super long time, it's one of the best, some of the best things that I've ever DJ'd are usually free community events. Because I like that stuff. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm doing something right with my life. And seeing it reciprocated is really beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to you for that, fam, for real.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think at some point you have to give back. There's a lot of bullshit in Humboldt County, but there's also a lot of beautiful stuff.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
And so I try to stay on a little bit more of that lighter side of the situation if I can, and not get bogged down by some darker shit. But, speaking very, very loosely, I noticed that I was able to start getting paid. Even though it was very little amounts of money, I noticed I was able to start getting paid and doing a lot of poetry events with A Reason to Listen. It was really cool.
Was that a group from way back, A Reason to Listen?
Yeah, so A Reason to Listen was a collective of people. My friends Vanessa and Therese definitely helped kind of lead it, but there were other people that were involved that I'm not going to name that, no disrespect. It's just, there was quite a few people that really helped create this beautiful poetry scene. And there were poets and poetry nights going on long before I got involved, but it was really fun to get involved with that. Siren Song, which is just, shouts out to Matt and Phyllis and Nate for cultivating such an amazing place. Yep. I know that they don't own the spot anymore and other people do, but they're still putting on hip-hop shows and weird shows and things that are different, and that's really important for our community in general.
Yep.
But I tapped in super heavy with the poetry scene, so I was doing things with them. I met Will Gibson through them and Dylan Collins, and then started helping them out in Word Humboldt.
Mm-hmm. That was the first time I ever saw you was at a Word Humboldt show at the Siren Song.
Okay.
And I was like, oh shit, Goldy, that was where it implanted in my head. Oh shit, no, Goldy has control over what he's doing. He's not just and I don't know at that point how long had you been DJing?
Probably like 4 or 5 years.
That's it?
Loosely, slowly. Yeah, just little things. I mean, mind you, at this time, I'm still working in kitchens, and I'm actually like, I got so into that for a while. Like, it's an interesting thing to like classify yourself or call yourself a chef. Food's very popular these days. The Food Network has been wildly successful. But it wasn't always that way, and I kind of got in a little bit before that blow up, and so I was really into cooking, and I loved doing that. It's a pleasing thing. I love pleasing people, and so nowadays I get to do that with music, but it used to be a situation where I did it with food, and so while I was trying to build this, small little community kind of based vibe. As a turntablist, because at the time I was only doing vinyl, I was also very much into being a chef and like being able to learn from chefs in a really, I struggled with it early, but understanding how to like really manage and teach and help people be the best they can professionally in that situation, I enjoyed it. So I was doing that full time. Also trying to DJ, and thank God for the pandemic, because by then I had been DJing for a while and I got out of it. And by then I had made relationships with Los Coast Communications and became a DJ doing Just Right. I had tapped in with other people and had residencies around town, like Christine Silver, who owns 6th and E and Humboldt Soup Company. I used to have a residency over at 6th and E, and I always thought it was weird because it's like there's so many dope DJs in Humboldt County. You know what I mean? Like seeing like DJ Red and M, and these people that I look up to greatly, just like killing it at shows, and then I'm in a burger place. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm in a burger place. I'm in a place where people are getting beers and burgers and I'm playing records. But it had integrity, and Christine was hella cool. She asked me to just like keep it real. So we're not in Old Town exactly, so have some fun with it. We know what music you like to play, like do your thing. And it's insane to think of how many opportunities came from that alone. As far as private events where I've had the time to just wild out and doing crazy fun stuff, to like much more professional opportunities. A lot of those things came from like little gigs like 6th and E, and that's why like even like today I have a residency at the Madrone, and like it's a pizza spot, but like it's cool when like you get to turn that place out, and just have some fun.
Yep.
The money has never really been important to me as far as DJing, but I've noticed that there is a market there. So having like a sense of value, striking on it is important. I try to tell that to a lot of people coming up, like move honestly and ask for what you think you're worth, advocate for yourself.
Yep.
But when the pandemic hit and I was able to get out of kitchens, just because it's not an essential job, and just really being able to focus like 100% on music, that was crazy, man. That's when I feel like my life's been getting better and better and moving to a place where it's healthy, And so, that kind of brings us up to now. Everything I've been doing in there is just hustling turntables,
Yeah. Hey, that's what's up, man. That's a real journey right there. I love to hear that level of growth, just from taking it from, I had a friend who way back was telling me, like Goldylocks just started in his garage kind of thing, and that's what made me interested in that. One of the things that made me interested in even wanting to like interview people around here. How did it all come about? You know what I'm saying? And so it's just so dope to see you actually took it to the career level and are able to, eat off it completely, like if it pay your bills.
Yeah. No, and I mean, it's interesting to like be so rooted in like hip hop and soul and jazz and R&B, and then get offered this job at KWPT to do classic rock and soul music. I'm like, I feel like I'm tapping back into my childhood in a way, you know, like I'm getting to use all those influences that we talked about a little while ago, and just exhausting them in a wonderful way, you know. And at the same time, I've gotten to make these relationships in the community, so it's like I'm not afraid to engage people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like we don't have to love the same music. You can be the biggest fan of Kiss. Just on a side note, don't like Kiss. Never have, not a fan. But that doesn't mean that like I can't engage with those people and we can have common ground and communicate. Oh, it's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because you never know what you're gonna learn.
That part. Yep.
Now I love to, you know, even your music is, you know, you're listening to one thing, but it hits people differently, you know, and so everybody's gonna have a different perception. Everybody's gonna have different stories that they associate with the same song that you have that resonates in your heart, that you've got completely different stories and a whole different narrative around, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it just goes back to, that's the power of music. That's why I think that it really shows the people, you know, it's something I've talked about on the podcast before, right? You know, the value of music and hobbyists versus, you know, people that are actually trying to be like professional artists. And so there's these interesting concepts of, you know, okay, so you may be a hobbyist. If you're, you know, trying to push it to the next level and you consider yourself and actually are being like a professional artist, it's like, okay, there's that. What's interesting about it is, what is the intrinsic value of your art and who controls it? I was just watching a video of Vince Staples on, I think it was podcast that he was on some podcast.
Yeah.
And he was talking about this, and he was like, you know, we put our music out there, and so at this point in time with like the streaming platforms and everything, you know, like you have to put your music, you know, have to, but if you want it to be out there like the majority of the rest of people's music, you got to put it on the streaming platforms. Mm-hmm. As soon as you do that and make it free on the streaming platforms like that, it intrinsically changes the value of that music. It literally changes it to almost valueless. And I'm not saying that like it is valueless. I'm just saying like
But that's what you receive.
Right.
Yeah. It's not what the music is worth. It's about what you receive at that point, and it's disgusting.
It really is.
It's really sad. I mean, even for someone who collects vinyl, like, man, at least there's like dollars going into it, you know? And right. I've been watching and listening and just absolutely loving the wave that Russell is on, because he is like our newest like breath of fresh air on that independent level. Mm-hmm. And we're from California, dude. We got Water, we got Hyro, we got people that have been doing independent music. And that's great, because that is an artist recognizing that they're genuine. They're doing it for a reason they truly believe in. They carry themselves with integrity, and they know their value. Mm-hmm. I fuck with that a lot.
No, I agree, man.
Yeah.
I love LaRussell. I feel like LaRussell is that same breath of fresh air that we got when Chance the Rapper came out, you know, mm-hmm. independent and everything like that. People were wondering, well, which way is he going to go? You don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, you put out something that you're not going to get paid for. It doesn't mean it doesn't have value. It's just that we've changed ways of how we also, you know, intake and consume our music. And so it's intelligent for a new artist to put some things out there that are still good, but you ain't going to make money off of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You got to reel them in with something that was free. Next one's not. You know, right. And that's how you see these people actually starting to make a good amount of money. But when it comes to streaming and like just like the things you listen to on Spotify, not a fan.
Yep.
Not a fan, dude. Like if I can I will offer an artist like just money. Can I give you $20 for your album?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think that's so much better and so much more beautiful and genuine. Even if you're not consuming as much music as someone who has, a million different apps and opportunities and options, it's like, that's great. But like, if you have like a smaller broadcast or smaller like radius of what you're able to listen to, you can still find great things and really support artists.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I love about Humboldt too, man. It's like, it's so many creative people around here. Like, man.
Yep. Somebody I talk about all the time on the podcast, just related to one of the things you just said, is I fucks with Highway around here, right? When you go to a Highway show, you're gonna be able to get physicals of his CDs. You know what I'm saying? And so like nowadays, the kids or whatever, they don't see the value in that, but that's something that's lost on them. Because see, I think that's gonna come back. But even just separate from that, you get something to hold in your hands. It's like, hey, I actually have this, and actually get to pay Highway, $10, whatever it is. You can go on his website right now and buy Highway's albums, the physicals of it, and get those. You know what I'm saying? There's something to that when you actually have it in your hands and you can play it at any time. We're up here in Humboldt County. I mean, it's getting better, but every now and then the internet goes out. And what happens when the internet goes out? You don't have all the streaming stuff.
Bro, if a solar flare comes in, I'm two-stepping with my turntables joyously.
That's right.
Not that I'm wanting anything like that to happen. I'm not one of them. But
we ready.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, I mean, to me, supporting art is important, 100%.
Yep.
If I didn't believe in that, I wouldn't exist as a DJ. You know what I mean? And I like it when an artist has the understanding of what like their worth is for what you feel like you can get an album for. So like, you can charge someone $12 or $20 for an album. I think it is unique when artists, like we were already mentioning, Lil Russell come with that, pay what you want. That changes the game in a good and bad way. I had that happen to me at a farmer's market where the people like, I like this item and I wanted to buy said item. They're like, oh, what's it worth to you? And I freaked out. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like now I'm thinking about like, well, dude, what is art to you? Like, what do I pay? Like, man.
That's a tough call.
Especially when you're out here trying to make some art or do something, artistic, and you feel like you're worth like this price per hour, and you're like, oh well, they put in how many hours to make that product. That's crazy. I would get paid hundreds of dollars for that situation, and if we're talking about a piece of produce, I don't know, man.
I know. No, it's so crazy. Those so much time gets put into things, and it gets just forgotten by people. It's just so crazy. That reminds me of something. I got a cousin who does it's something that people do out there. They take wood and they fire etch, different things into wood. And so it's one of those things where it takes so much time to make something that's not even necessarily something large that nobody would ever pay you for the actual amount of hours that you put into it. Let's say 30 hours for nobody's going to pay you like $1,500 for something that's, maybe the size of a piece of paper kind of thing, but it took you that long.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like, it's really all about, that's kind of what Vince Staples was talking about on that podcast was, it used to be, if it's art, then you go sell it to the art dealer. And the art dealer specifically makes certain people, it makes it available to people. You got to charge to go see that, or you get charged to see it and everything like that. But at the point when it's no longer, when it got funneled into, we're all, forced to use these streaming platforms, like that totally changed the game. Again, like we've talked about on the pod before, in good ways and in bad, but I think now, after we've seen, everything always changes. Right? There's nothing ever stays the same. There's going to be something after this streaming. The internet's going to still be there, so it's still going to exist. But there, the culture will move in different ways. We've seen vinyl make a huge resurgence. Right? We've seen.
That's why that's one record is suddenly worth $200. Like it's nuts. Like and not even because it's not worth that, but especially when you start talking about changing your format. And it not being on streams, it's like, well, artists only put so many records out. So for people like me who are, collectors, sometimes it just gets into that nitty gritty where like there was only 5,000 records like that printed. You know what I mean? Let alone you start talking about like reprints and different color variations. They put the what was it? Doomsday, or no, it was Food. They did a repress of Food, and it's like that sickly green and the bubbly pink.
Yep.
I want to buy it just for those records, man. That's, but that's a really unique way of consuming something and like also creating more of a value for it. So,
I don't want to ever give anything away about what my homies out there are doing, but all I want to do on this quick part of this conversation is just give a quick shout out to my homie Flo J. Simpson.
Bro, get out of my get out of my head, bro. I was just saying the homies out there writing a book, putting in work and making something that I'm really excited to consume. It's gonna take me so long. Oh my God.
I know. I'm going to be piecing through it. Again, I'm not going to say how many tracks are on there. I'm not going to say anything.
I don't even know at this point.
Yeah, I'm not going to say nothing.
There's a lot.
I'm just going to say it is going to be an adventure. Literally an adventure going through everything.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be a cartoon booklet, man. There's depth to it, and it's beautiful. And I like that he sees value in a creative way to put out a vision. If he only sells, a couple hundred, he's still having a return on his art that if you got a few hundred streams, it'd be nothing.
Right. Literally a penny or two.
And he's put so much like heart and soul into it. It's like, if you care just a little bit, it's worth it.
Yep.
Different. It's a different way to consume media. Things start to mean a lot more.
It helps you stand apart too.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. So shout out to Flo J. Flo J is going to be one of the many people. I'm not skipping around because we got other things to get into. But
I'd love to talk about Flo J for a while, man. That's
my
fucking brother,
I'm telling you, man. Flo J is one of the dudes around here. One of the most talented MCs around here. Period. There's no one around here that would disagree with that.
Yeah, and like our friendship story is like. I always look at it, it's great. Like we connect on a great level, but we met at I think it was Synapsis.
Wow. That's interesting.
There was a gallery show, and I was asked to come through and play records, and I was having a great time. And at one point I pulled out Angela from Bob James. So we're already going into a super classical, and for me that embodies the Cab Fare from Souls of Mischief. That's one of the greatest songs ever put out. As a young kid, when people told me I don't fuck with hip hop, that's not real music, I would calmly expose them to that. Not aggressively, but just, and next thing you know, people are thinking differently. Mm-hmm. So for me, that record is huge, and to have it on vinyl is big. I think I've got 4 copies now. Every time I come across a touchdown from Bob James, I'm like, it's the ugliest record I've ever seen, but fucking amazing music. And so I put on Angela and was kind of chopping the volume out, because at the time I had this piece of shit mixer. At the time I had horrible equipment. But I'm kind of chopping out to the rhythm of it because I'm kind of hearing how they do it in my head with Souls of Mischief. And Flo J comes over, and we've already kind of talked to each other a few times that night, introduced ourselves. He's like, bro, can I rap? Microphone right there. And he just started chopping it up, and we just got into this beautiful little rhythm, and just kind of tapped in. It was great.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm super proud of everything that he continues to do around here. He does a lot more, I think, than a lot of people might understand.
Yep.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, he's a really good dude.
Yeah.
I'm just blessed to have seen him and known him and been able to be around a person that's operating on that level of artistic creation. He's one of those dudes, there's some cats around here that I've seen that, they're just constantly getting their creativity, you can flex in that muscle. You know what I'm saying? There's, on the MC level, Flo J is one of them. He's consistent. Anytime I'm around Flo J, you know what I'm saying? He's showing me something new, and I mean, he's killing it every single time.
His level of freestyling, his skill at freestyling is worth mentioning. That's like, we can just be kicking it and improvising and having so much fun. And like, with him and Ian, like, making like the California Bears thing, like, yeah, that whole idea is based off of how fun it is to just do things without planning it, and having like all that inspiration and glow from Flo J. Like, man, it's wonderful that we're friends outside of music, but like when we get together and work, like, it's so much fun. And like those dudes, as far as like what I'm doing now when it comes to hip hop, that's probably like my most passionate shit is when I get to work with those two. So
heck yeah,
definitely huge shouts out to them. I love those two guys.
Yeah, it's so interesting being around those two dudes. They're just both on that same level, you know what I'm saying? But
lyrics
Ian,
matter, dude.
Yeah, no, it's true. And
the bars matter.
It really does.
You cannot, like, my favorite thing is like, I can't rap for shit, and so when we're like hanging out, these dudes are just barring off with gargantuan ideas and triple entendres, and I'm like, two things, and it's hella stupid, and it's fun, but we have like a great energy and a great like friendship through music. And so like when we get to like actually do shit on stage and like whatever, it's always like so much fun. Yeah,
beautiful. No, heck yeah, I love it. Those two MCs, man, it's so interesting because I hold them both so high, and then I talk to Ian, and Ian holds Flo J at a whole nother level. He's like, nah, Flo J is on a step above.
Him and Gage's podcast was great.
Yeah, what's that again?
Him and Ian and ATG.
Oh yeah,
I really loved their podcast. Like, I've listened to that one quite a few times.
Yeah, those are the homies, man, and it's so dope. So I don't know, again, so I just like to hop around to certain things real quick. You know what I'm saying, and just to kind of let people know about it. I was talking, I think it was you or somebody recently, man, but I think there's going to be some California, DJ Goldylocks and the Cali Bears energy at the show on the 17th. Is it the show on the 17th, or is this the December 2nd show?
You talking about the basement?
Oh, yeah, the basement show, yeah, on the 17th, right?
Honestly, as of like right now, I haven't really talked with too many of the artists. I mean, we've collaborated many times. So like, if you were just to be looking at like what's on my Serato account, like, yeah, I have like Albert instrumentals. I have Amani Eternal instrumentals. I have Ruffian and Gage and Flo J's. I have everybody's separate little folder with beats that they've sent me from shows in the past. So I'm anticipating people to hit me up in the next few days, so we can like really like tap in on, what we're going to be performing. But
heck yeah, that one on the 17th is going to be crazy, man.
Everybody involved in that though has spontaneous like energy and like love to like what they bring to the music that like I don't even care. Like, if nobody reached out to me until the day of, I would still be happy to be part of it, because yeah, we can make lemonade, delicious lemonade.
That's it. That one's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, shouts out to Dylan Collins for like putting together like such a sweet lineup. Mm-hmm. I love that Pressure's gonna be involved. I never get to work with that man, and yeah.
He's holding it down out here, man.
Best DJ in Humboldt County. I love that he gets that accolade in some way, shape, or form. He deserves all of his flowers and tacos.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck flowers. Give me tacos.
Yeah. Gabe has been holding it down. That's why.
I should say, like, coming up, man, like, yeah, him and when he had collaborated with Anya, too.
Those were the good old days, man. Dude, Pressure Anya. That was it, man.
Shadows. You know what I mean? Like, if you wanted to DJ in Humboldt County, you were definitely in their shadow.
Yep.
Yeah. And, like, I got to tell that to Anya recently. and it felt weird because, like, I don't know, it was a kind of a situation where I was the one that had some experience in this situation, so I got to train her on a couple things. And before we did that, I'm like, this shit is bizarre, because I know who you are. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know how to train you, how to do anything. So, like, I'm going to kind of show you what I do, and then I'm sure you'll do it better. You know what I mean? But, yeah, shouts out to them for sure. And he's going to come through. Pressure's going to come through and kind of, like, be I think, the better DJ and the, like, probably more funner experience at the end of the night. And I get to kind of, like, tap in a little bit more on, like, selections and maybe some, like, you know, some jazzy things with more of the spoken word side.
Heck yeah.
But I love that it's an intersection with poetry and hip hop too. That's really great to me. I think, like, those things are always fun. I like that. I like that bridge a lot. So.
Yep, me too. I like the energy because it slows it down for a minute and really lets you just, without any music, without anything else, just zero in. And I mean, we already know anybody that's going to be up there, whether it's, I'm looking at the list of names. I mean, we got Alex, we got Monique, we got some people up there with strong energy. You know what I'm saying? That will go up there and will completely command the audience. So, you know, and I love that part of spoken word. And so just like you said, when you get to mix hip hop and spoken word up, man, it's just kind of it's a perfect symbiosis. You know what I mean? It really, you know, it shows the talent required to get up in front of people and get your creativity out there. It just shows it unbridled that it's two peas in the pod almost. You know what I'm saying? With music or without. And a lot of people have said, you know, the homie Ra, shout out to the homie Ra, he said on the podcast that, you know, sometimes it's even harder to do the spoken word side of it because you don't have the music and the beat to follow along with. You know?
Absolutely, dude. I sit behind my turntables through nights with poets, and I'm like, I could never. It's terrifying. I'm on the stage, people are looking at me, I'm looking at people, but I get to hide behind turntables and other music, you know what I mean? And I get to curate where watching them do that, it's incredible. And it is daunting. And I've heard poets, you know, so I think Dylan said it many times at Word Humboldt, like, this is one of the hardest things to do is to get up in front of people and speak. And he ain't lying. It is.
Yep.
For sure. But when people come with, you know, some truth, especially after some editing, that's one of my favorite parts too about those types of shows is I am on stage. And so I get to be like, from this very interesting point of view that really just the artist that's speaking in the mic gets to see is the reactions from people. And, you know, that's really cool. It's really interesting. And being able to, like, read that and make that selection has always been just like, oh, when you get the song right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. No, that's one of the crucial superpowers of a DJ. I really feel like, you know, it was like even my homie, my homie Height, he was just talking about, you know, we just had the party at Louis with you and DJ Chuck. Shout out to DJ Chuck. You guys were tearing that show up, right? And so one of the things my homie Height said about Chuck is that, you know, Chuck knows how to read the crowd and play the right music to, like, feed the crowd. You know, that's a talent because it's improvisational too. Because, you know, you may come in with a set. I'm that type of person. I'm a very structured person. You know, I got a lot of Mercury in me. So I'm going to come in. I need to know exactly what's going on. I need to have it dialed. I need to have my set, you know what I mean, it's laid out. And I don't always operate like that, but that's how I'd like it. That's how I prefer it, right? But, you know, you have to improvise on a level, you know, when you're out there with people, you know what I'm saying, and looking at their responses like you're talking about. That's the one thing, too, for any of my videography homies watching this, you know, it's an important angle to catch everything at is from the DJ's angle. You know, they're seeing things that people are not seeing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And, you know, you definitely have to, like, tap into like some energy and, you know, kind of feel where people are going. Like sometimes what you planned on in a set is not what's right for that moment. And
you can kill the whole energy.
Yeah. And it's like, I've been on both sides of that fence. I don't know how to really say it, but I have planned sets to a T, and I have walked into something just like, I brought these crates, and I know what's in these crates. I love that. I love the crate vibe. That's my favorite thing to do. And if I get to do that, I'll be the cheapest DJ you'll ever meet. Fuck with me.
Yeah.
But, you know, the more professional opportunities you get, the more you have to perform and set a certain vibe for, you know, like a big artist that's going to come through, though. Like, then it starts to get more important what you play.
Big time.
How are you playing it? Like, you know, how are your transitions? All these things start to make more impact on your decision making. So, and there's also been times where I've had opportunities to do like just wild ass things, and you know, sobriety might not be on my side. So I'm like, I'm gonna plan this set. I'm gonna go from this song to this song, because who knows? By 3 a.m. when my set comes on, you know, who knows? Space and opportunity.
Hey, that's the fun of a party, though. You know.
Yeah.
Oh man, Goldy. You know, so I definitely want to give some time to the Fat Bowl Cypher, because the Fat Bowl Cypher is crucial infrastructure, you know, for Humboldt County Hip Hop, you know. And so we got to make sure that we give some shine to the people that have been keeping the Fat Bowl Cypher. For lack of, I mean, of course we got you on Just Right, you know, on the radio show, but there's only so much infrastructure for Humboldt County Hip Hop. You know, this year now, you and I both were on the Humboldt County Hip Hop, the Humboldt Hip Hop Congress. Yeah. That's more new infrastructure, right? We'll talk about that too. But the Fat Bowl Cypher is 10 years plus strong.
I was about to say, like, I've just been blessed to be a resident DJ for the past like year or so. But it's been happening, and oh man, it's still a little intimidating to be a resident DJ for it right now, because it was so fun to watch those ciphers. I'm not an MC, you know what I mean? I don't rap like that. If we're hanging out, we'll see what happens. But
yeah.
So I'm definitely just hanging out, and you know, those things would pop off. There would be so many MCs inside, like, waiting to get on the mic, and it was almost easier to watch from like outside certain venues. You know, I'm over 6 feet tall. I can like look into the window. You know, not to like pull like a full creeper, but like it was always like a really cool thing to be just a witness of it, and be like, wow, this is crazy. You know, and
shout out to the DJs that have been keeping it going over the years. We're talking Just One.
I think the first time I saw DJ M was at a Fat Bowl Cypher.
Oh, shit.
And that shit was gargantuan. I was just like,
I bet.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes I had no idea who that DJ was, but there was always, it always has been like a really great place for creative people to like drop bars. Yeah.
Crucial infrastructure. It was there before, and I mean, you know, again, shout out to the homie, you know, Dylan with Word Humble. But the Fat Bowl Cypher's been there for, like I said, 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, 10 years strong. Open mic for anybody of all skill levels in the community to come to. You know what I'm saying? Blessing us with, you know, the rockers coming through. You know what I'm saying? And being able to see all the pillars of hip hop. See, that's one of the things that, you know, it's so crucial for, is that you be able to go to a Fat Bowl Cypher and get all of those first 4 pillars of hip hop represented.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, man, when the rockers step into a place, dude, that changes shit so much.
It amps it up.
You know? It's like,
Shout out to the Rockers, man.
Yeah.
They're so crucial for Humboldt County hip hop. Literally, you know.
Same thing with like some good feminine energy too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's to put on the mic, it's like few and far between out here. I wish there was more of that. Changes the game.
It really does. I remember it was earlier this year, if I remember correctly. Time is kind of ebbing and flowing, right? But I think it was earlier this year. We had the homie Irie Adina was out at the Fat Bowl Cypher on the flute.
That was so sweet.
That was a sick one.
Yeah. I mean, like, just like, the Fat Bowl Cyphers bring opportunity for, like, those, like, really cool, improvised, unplanned moments. You know? It's something different, you know? It's, like, that same kind of thing you see in, like, like Flo J and Eli Fowler and, like, Knack. It's, like, it's spiritual, you know? They tap in for a minute. And you just get to experience it if you show up.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep. Extremely, most typically it's a free show, very inexpensive, maybe $5 to get in at the door, which is completely reasonable. You know what I'm saying? You got to shout out to the places that have, Fat Bowl Clothing Store closed, but shout out to the Fat Bowl Clothing Store that was always holding it down. Shout out to the Epitome Gallery who's holding it down now. It's always a great time. Every single time I come out there, the vibes are always on 10. And it's the kind of thing where people, you just, you don't understand what you're missing until you've gone once. And you're like, oh, this is what this is. Around here in Humboldt County, we've got MCs of all levels coming out and giving it their all on the mic. Which, again, Knack One says it on the mic. It's not easy to do.
Yeah, at all. Yeah, I was just, one of my friends was just the last one, and they were asking me, like, man, it's just kind of insane how people are able to deliver on time, like these awesome lines, and then they have things that make sense, and you actually go on, like, a real musical journey. It's not just hat and bat and cat. We're way past it.
Not at all. Not with the Fat Bowl crew, man. No, that's way up.
Yeah, no, and it's great. It's and without any lessening to the Fat Bowl Cypher, I feel like Humboldt County and places can always use more. So, like, don't be afraid to let that shit pop off on some different ways too.
That's right. That's right. That brings up a good point. I'm glad to see, over the last couple years, maybe, whether it's been a year or so, however long it's been, with the pandemic slowing down and everything like that to an extent, more stuff is happening out there.
There's the Insight Ciphers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the Insight Ciphers, they've been holding it down and they're growing.
Yeah. Did Sequoia talk about that one?
Oh yeah, he did. No, but we could always talk about the Inside Ciphers though. I check out the videos. It's been over a year since I've been down there, but
I've never been to one.
Oh really? No, they hold it down.
Never once. Actually, it makes me feel really bad because those are like all my friends, but
it's definitely the homies.
It starts like, I would say, about 20 minutes before I need to be at work in Ferndale.
Oh, for Just Right. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh shit.
And so I'm like, I understand. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't really know if I want to drive under the bridge just for, like, basically just to high real quick and then turn around. Gas is expensive.
Yeah, gas is super expensive.
And I do see those people all the time. But
nah, those are the homies, yo. They keep the vibes up out there. Shout out to Sequoia, shout out to Ian, shout out to Johnny Angel. And every time I'm seeing, I see the videos and the pictures that they post, and it's always a dope group of people out there sometime.
I just know him as Dre, but what's his last name? Hart?
Yeah. Young Dre.
That dude can flow, man.
He can, man. He's confident. I really like that dude.
I feel like I've heard him, like, just go into definitely, like, an elevated. He's just getting better and better every time I've seen him at the Fat Bowl Cyphers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That last one, it was just kind of like. Same thing with Hyatt at CannaFest.
Yeah.
I knew he had bars, but at CannaFest I was like, I get the name.
Yeah. That was a dope one for real. No, Hyatt brought it that day, man. Like I'm blessed to see Hyatt out there when he's freestyling. That was where I met him, was the Fat Bowl Cypher, and then a year later, literally a year later, it was October 2022 when I met him at the Fat Bowl Cypher. I'm sorry, not October. Sometime in the summertime. And then it was literally a year later that he was at the Fat Bowl Cypher at the CannaFest, and that was a cool one, man. It's just the different setting, the different energy, the different, what I'm saying, hey, Kabaka Pyramid came through, Yeah, that was a moment. That was a moment in Humboldt County history. And there's been a lot of moments, that people, painted and cultivated around here. Shout out to Brian Swislow. For everything that he's done and all Absolutely. The OGs, because they've been doing it around here. But that was a moment, and I was blessed to be there and to get the footage of all that happened that day, man. Like, that was one of the Fat Bowl Cyphers you're gonna remember.
And I was trying to bring him in with the beat before that. It was both the instrumentals that I played when I actually knew, like, holy shit, Kabaka Pyramid is like right there. But the first one had like a bunch of like classic reggae rhythms kind of worked into this beat. It's Pete Rock, dude. This shit is flawless.
Oh, man.
And I thought, I put that on and I made eye contact with him and I was like, what's up, man? Like, wow. This is crazy. Nah, dude, he waited for the Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
And that just... And like, when it was happening, I was like, don't do anything. The beat is perfect. It's Pete Rock. Don't do anything. Just let him rap. You don't gotta do nothing. But it was, it's one of those great, like, that's like the best part for DJing. It's like, I did feel like, man, this is like a great time to just, a couple good beat drops. Like, bro, we're live. Like, we're having fun. Mm-hmm. And just doing that for just a couple measures was like, it felt good. It was fun. And just like being in that moment fully, it was like, it's crazy. Life was just like, I can't believe this is happening. You know what I mean?
It was a surreal moment.
Mm-hmm.
It really was. Now that's, and again, that's something that I want to make sure people don't discount, is that, so what Goldy's right here describing so effortlessly, like it's just this easy thing, is the fact he is improvising on the fly to bust out the songs, that he's thinking that it's going to cultivate these memories that, like I said, that's something that a ton of people will never forget.
Well, I mean, I do feel like there's a certain sense of duty, like I was asked to come through and represent at CannaFest, and it's like, I've been pretty open about, at least like losing the stigma of cannabis. Growing up in Humboldt County, it's like I'm in such a unique position to like be from like this incredible weed mecca. But like, yeah, to get the opportunity to play at CannaFest, I wanted to represent, like, I wanted to be able to put something that, like, no matter what, this is going to be good for the community. Like, I was in the process of moving. And so really for me, it was like 2 hours to just make music and have fun. Mm-hmm. And it was great. I actually like had to pack up and go continue to move like sofas and cabinets and shit.
That day?
That day.
Oh,
yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. But
you was tired at the end of that day, man. Damn.
But knowing that, like, you have those opportunities, like, you should take them. Mm-hmm. It definitely took me a long time to have as much confidence. It's something I still struggle with consistently. Any of my confidence, I feel like, just comes from experience. I've probably, I don't know, I feel like at this point I've done a lot around Humboldt County, so it's like, it might be my first time, but like I have so many other experiences to draw off of. It's like, why not? Mm-hmm. Within reason, like, have fun, like do some things, and I had Knack and Eli Fowler and Flo J. Simpson there, so it's not like I wasn't already able to just like drop some dope instrumentals and let those dudes go crazy,
Yeah.
So it wasn't all me that helped that moment happen. I just happened to be there, and
But the DJ is the first pillar, though, man. You plant the seeds, and then everybody waters it. The MCs are watering it.
I'm grateful that it happened, but like, yeah, no, I mean, I know that I'm just like a small part of the situation. It was great to be there,
It's one of those things that it reminded me of what happened at the Cannon Fest. Reminded me of over the Summer Music and Arts Festival. That was another good time that we had. It was one of those, just something special.
What H3C has been trying to plan and do is great. That was, I think, like so far what we've done this year. I think that was like one of the best things,
Mm-hmm.
But besides just like trying to like work with the community and build in like healthy ways, that was just such like you get to see it moment,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I loved it,
and it was completely like. What I think I kind of mentioned earlier when we just started was just like being the youngest of three, learning a lot from what I see happening to the people before me, and kind of just making, how do I say this? Being able to like do that thing that I didn't have growing up. That was kind of the coolest part about it. I didn't see a lot of things like that where there's families and hip hop coexisting in a way that is really peaceful. And so it was really just amazing to like help make that happen and just be, like I'll bring my PA out for that. I'll do that shit for free. I'll volunteer all the time I have,
Especially for the kids too. On top of that, it was with the kids, Kidlandia. That adds the extra knowledge. Like we're happy to do it for free at that point.
And there's so many people that like volunteer and work together. It's like it's a great community event, Like I like, I don't know. I've heard good and bad things about festivals. As far as like trash and litter and things like that, but from the moments that I've been, at least at this last Summer Arts Music Festival, it was a real pleasure and like nice to like work with all the volunteers. Everybody was so nice, accommodating, and it was hot. So
that was a hot day, a couple days, man.
I'm glad that everybody was nice because it was hot. I'm not used to that heat, dude. Like,
yeah. Now that's the one thing about the Summer Music and Arts Festival, man. You gotta be prepared for the heat.
And Object Tabby just, oh my God, they were so good that night.
They killed that.
They were so good that night. That was amazing. Yeah.
Heck yeah. One of the many, just beautiful times that gets cultivated in Humboldt County. We're really blessed around here, to have so much that happens. I think we're at this interesting point now with the hip hop community where it's, part of what the Humboldt County, the Humboldt Hip Hop Congress is doing is we've got to get people working together. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people at this point now that are firing on all cylinders. They're wanting, they're going for it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even OGs that have been out there doing it. Shout out to Garth Cultivator, who's not just, I'm saying he's not just making music out there. He's also a sponsor of the HipHopHumboldt Podcast. So shout out to Garth Cultivator for that. But I mean, he's out there dropping music and marketing it like a young artist who's like hungry as fuck. And I'm not saying that he's not young, and I'm not saying he's not hungry as fuck. I'm just saying that's what he's moving like right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's so dope to see the people in Humboldt County with talent, with experience, doing it and still doing it. We got the Dirty Rats still out there doing it. They just dropped. This ain't, anytime I prop somebody up, or I'm saying give somebody some respect or positive criticism, it's never to shade anybody else. But let me tell you what, the Dirty Rats brought out the best album in Humboldt County hip hop this year. And I may be forgetting somebody, and some people might be mad about that. I'm just saying the Dirty Rats did it.
Yeah, no, I mean they're consistent, and like those dudes are all crazy talented. Yeah, I was I've been meaning to get a copy of some more of their radio edits from them. I had it like misplaced in the studio, and I've never been able to get that CD back. And it's been like, damn, dude, I love playing Champagne in the Mason Jar. I'm just right. Yeah.
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah. No, those dudes are great. I love the Dirty Rats.
Yeah. Nah, and just to see that they're still, all together, killing it. I mean, that's, just, it's a testament. There's only, when you have a crew that's been together for that long, you know what I'm saying, that's not easy in itself. So shout out to the Rat, shout out to the Rockers for the same thing. 20 years strong, 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, these are strong friendships. This just happens to be like what we share with the world, and our friendships, like where that exists is, it could be breakdancing, it could be rapping, it could be making beats, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It could be whatever you want it to be. You know what I mean? You're probably going to collaborate and have like-minded people.
Right. That's one of the best things about this area, man, is that, in general, man, I think everybody taps in with each other. You know what I'm saying? There's different levels to it, but I'm saying, like, I think that everybody, there's not, there's no such thing as beef in Humboldt County, right? There may have been people thinking that they're beefing or this or that, but this area is too small, and everybody collaborates with everybody, so, you know what I'm saying? Nothing will last on that negative tip.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, ever. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, there's so many creative people in this area. Like, I have my opinion on what I think is good and bad. I think like everybody does. But I'm pretty viciously proud of the people that are creating in Humboldt County, not even in music, but like this area has so many fucking talented people. Like, sometimes it's like lightweight overwhelming to like have any impact in this community at all, because the people that you're impacting and working with are fucking awesome, and do shit on without a large budget background. People that are like truly independent artists that give a fuck about what they do and who they do it around. I love that. And so like that's a real paradigm. That's something I never really thought of like that, is when we have so many dope people around here, it's a little harder. I mean, not necessarily, I'm not saying this is the hard fast, like this is how it is, but it can be a little harder around here. I mean, it's going to be real hard for somebody to be better than Flo J. Simpson. I mean, look at how like, it's great to see people like pushing themselves and really executing like
Facts.
The Dirty Rats and Highway and fuck, dude, it's great. Juice, man, happy. It's kind of late.
Just had his birthday. Happy birthday, Juice and the Juice Box. Mm-hmm. He's another force in Humboldt County hip hop that's been holding it down. You know what I'm saying? That's more. Juice is holding down more infrastructure for Humboldt County hip hop, and not just hip hop too. Humboldt County in general.
And he's really given a fuck from like a very young age. I met him a long time ago, and it was very just like two very normal people, just kind of like, all right, this is the situation, what's happening. And
was it in his Accurate Production days?
No, I think this was before that.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, not to like throw too much out there, but yeah, it was a situation I think where I was doing pirate radio, and he was interested in seeing how like shit worked. How are you broadcasting? How does this work? What equipment are you using? And so he just kind of came in, kicked it, and like me and my friends were like, nah, put like the weed and stuff away. You know what I mean? This influential young man. But nah, I mean, he's...
And he's always been like that too, at least from the stories that I've heard from himself personally. You know what I'm saying? He's been that inquisitive mind. He likes to learn. He's like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, he knows nowadays just about any knowledge is out there on YouTube. So if you apply yourself, you can learn a lot.
Dude, and he's applying himself.
Big time.
Yeah.
That's, like I said, there's more infrastructure for Humboldt County that we need out there, because before Juice, you know what I'm saying, we had, Jada Sarge was out here, you know what I'm saying? He's got a dope studio there too, you know what I'm saying? But the options were somewhat limited.
I've never booked studio time, but I've got to see it. Damn, this place is dope as fuck.
Talking about Jada Sarge's or Jesus?
Yeah. Some shit where you want to like get like some people around and like everybody got some food, we're good, nobody's fucking around for like 5 hours, lock the door. You know?
Let's get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey man, I was just, I was just blessed to be on the phone with Brian Swislow, and so I'm not gonna, let this information out there. This is personal, kind of, potentially personal information about his thought processes, about how, not thought processes even, but how the studio sessions go. With like when he gets in the studio with like, let's say the Ride Up and the homies, you know what I'm saying, and when they get in the studio, and I mean that's you got to do that. You really got to like, hey, this is and over time. Those cats they're such high level talent, and they've worked together so well over the years that they've dialed their process to an extent. You know what I'm saying? They know exactly, hey, this is what we do. So I'm not going to break down what that process is. That's for Brian to say on the next Swislow session. So, you know what I'm saying, type of thing. But
without giving any of that away, the way that Love and Gravity was recorded, amazing. And I got to listen to that album kind of earlier than its original date, and just at one point, I think we were on to Bring You Home to Mother, and someone was like, "This is music that babies will be made to."
They weren't lying.
But the way they tapped into the sound is important. Like, it reminds you of like Barry White. You know what I mean? Because the energy is there.
You feel it.
I'll let them elaborate, but it shows so much intention to your music, you know? And Swizz has a lot of access and knowledge and experience with, really putting out music that's of a high caliber. You know what I mean? Like, I like to make beats, but I have an MPC, and that is it. If you ever hear a beat that I've made, it's all I have. I don't have any software or like things to run that shit through. I'll send things to FlowJ or Sequoia if I actually feel like it's good enough, which it never is. And I'm like, can we do something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny how shit goes. You know what I mean? And I think it comes down to like the intention of your music and what you want it to do. I don't mind that my shit's straight off an MPC because I feel like that's kind of hard.
I agree.
That's one album that I mentioned earlier is literally that. It's a raw MPC beat tape. And it like started off as just kind of like a loose mixtape that he was putting out with other people under the stairs stuff, I guess. And it gained popularity. I think that's like the lore behind this record. By the time I found it on vinyl, like, that was my first experience with listening to it. And so it gave me a ton of confidence, to be like, well, fuck it, dude. If that's all I have, like, I can still try to cook up some things, even if it's just dope and I get to give that to my friends.
Right.
And, like, I've gotten to bring some of those beats out for the Fat Bowl Ciphers.
Yeah.
I made that little mixtape.
Yep.
So, like...
And those beats are dope.
They're cool. They got flagged for sure on District.
They just don't let you... Oh, for real?
Yeah, we tried to upload it and they were like, nah, son.
Damn it.
But I mean...
That shit hits, though, at the Cypher, though, bro, when I'm hearing some of those, because I'm listening, so I'm that type, And some of those, I was like, where did he get these from?
Yeah, I mean, it's always been a pleasure. I feel like every time I've really brought them out at the Cyphers, GMG's been the feature and the guest DJ. And we get to have, like, this really wonderful back and forth about just, like, it's really hitting out of these speakers with, like, this and that isn't, like, to, like, talk about, like, how, like, minimalist my shit is and how, like, we're working it in. It's happening. Like, this is nice.
Heck yeah.
It's always fun. And his production is great.
Oh, yeah. Nah, GMG's solid, man.
Dude, I mean, the Fat Bowl Ciphers have always been so fun when he's around. Me and FlowJ had this hilarious little moment right next to GMG, and, like, I think in some of the footage that was getting shared online, you could see us in the background, but it was this dope little flute beat that GMG put on, and yeah. Me and FlowJ started acting foolish, I get a moment to like chill out. You know, GMG's on the beat, so I'm just hanging out with my friend. Like, I like, you know, it's good stuff, man. It's, those are fun situations. But GMG's a beast, dude. His production's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Nah, GMG's a beast. And, you know, GMG's one of those dudes where he's another one of those dudes that just does not stop. He's consistently coming with it. You know what I'm saying? I think, I know a lot of the people around here, and I've heard, you know, different stories about people, but, before meeting GMG, I had heard that, you know, he drops beats like it's just, he's super consistent with it. And then meeting him and then seeing and actually seeing what amount of music that the rats are dropping. I mean, they've dropped some albums in the last few years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude. And yeah, it's impressive the volume that he creates and like his own like little wave that he's been like helping so much around here by just like putting out content for people to hear and music for people to experience. Like he's definitely a beast on that one. I'm like, yeah, I don't work like that. When I meet producers that work like that, I'm just like, not a clue.
Shout out to Not a Clue.
And like Swizz, I've seen them make dope ass beats in like 30 seconds.
Yep.
And I'm just like, stop it. This is ridiculous, dude. And they're like, and yeah, I mean, we can just put that aside and they just create again. I'm like, wow, dude, I need like hours.
I know what you mean.
And what I'm left with is like, I don't even want to share that. This is crazy. You know what I mean?
The level of talent just oozing through some of these people around here, man. Nah, it's really, truly beautiful to behold, you know?
Yeah.
And GMG, so, you know, we talked about November 17th. That one's going to be a fire one. So if you're listening to this, make sure you come out to the basement November 17th. I want to go in order, too, because I was going to hop to the December 2nd show, which is going to be some heat. That's going to be one of those shows, like, it's something that a lot of people have never seen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to miss that show. But
unless you got to be part of, like, what it kind of was like last year.
Yeah. Right.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, Swizzlow and I were talking about it because, you know, Swizzlow's been creating this infrastructure, Object Heavy and the Magnificent Sanctuary Band and the Oh So Heavy Band. Yep. They've been creating that infrastructure, one of the last dope ones. Well, I mean, to be honest about it, one of the last dope ones was just back right around the corner was the Canifest Head Stash Championship. That was all the homies up on the stage. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We had Droop up there, Flo J, you know what I'm saying? Eli and Nat were with, you know what I'm saying, a bunch of homies from Object Heavy. Chris Boa was up there. You know what I'm saying? That was, you know, but the show with Charlie Tuna and Ahmad Rashad, you know, at the ATL, man, that was one of those big, yeah, that was one of those moments, you know, where if you missed it, you missed out.
Yeah, definitely. I remember I got booked for something that night, so I missed out.
Oh no, it happens. Hey man, it happens.
No, I've watched so much footage. Like I've definitely gotten at least blessed with that. But yeah, I mean that was like right when the Gifted Gabby passed away, which. Still, man. Mm-hmm. That sucked. That still sucks.
That seems pretty recent too. It feels like that's so crazy, man.
Well, he had such an impact on like California, you know, mm-hmm. and tapping into like conscious hip hop and like real hip hop that had a message and could be so much more than what I at least was exposed to. But like tapping in on his music, hella changed me. And yeah, that one sucked because like it felt like, dude, that's real close to home, mm-hmm. you know? But it's like that. I feel like sometimes like when you come from California, it's like there's like so much talent out here, you know, and it's like, oh.
There's those ones that really stand out, you know, and it's so
Double
crazy.
K,
mm-hmm.
that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out to just some random lore related to Double K, but shout out to DJ Red. See, DJ Red gave me this 4-pack of tall cans. There's these specialty Double K tall cans, man. That Double K himself drank.
Yeah.
You know, and so
You're talking about Red?
Yep. He's the homie.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of my favorite like DJs in Humboldt County. That dude can scratch on a level that I'm so impressed by. Yeah. I've always wanted to just Q&A with that dude, and he knows this. If he listens to this podcast, I hope he realizes I want that so bad.
That's it.
Red, I'll come set up my equipment anytime.
Yeah. Hey, Red, Goldy wants to jam with you, fam.
Dude, it's so fun. Like, I feel like that's an experience that not enough DJs get to experience in Humboldt County for sure, you know? Like, the art of scratching is definitely dwindling, you know? You definitely see a lot of it from, like, great dudes, but it's just... when's the last time you get to saw them, like, in a peaceful way kind of battle or communicate to each other? You know what I mean? You always see, like, DJing was, you know, his own set, you know, Not a Clue's at his own set, Red's, you know, probably doing Soul Party.
Yep. Him and Maxwell holding it
Which
down.
I fucking love Soul Party, man.
Heck yeah. They've been holding it down for years, man. That's one of the dopest parties around here.
I've had so much fun guesting there. Wow.
Heck yeah.
Stupid fun.
Speaking of, you was just talking about scratching, man. Actually, that's the perfect segue into, I was just going to briefly, but I wanted to make sure I bring up the party on November 18th that Boss Humboldt is doing at Louis. It's actually going to be the new nightclub, and it's going to be DJing.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be as of right now, he's doing this first show. You know what I'm saying? I can't say one way or another. I don't know how it all goes, but I think it would be super dope if he's the resident DJ at the Boss Humboldt shows. But so anyways.
That dude can handle tables, man.
Man, he's a legend. You know what I'm saying?
He has great skills, dude. He can do it all.
Yeah. The last time I saw him personally was at Mazzotti's at the Booty Shaking show. With Knack One, Eli, C. Baker. Yeah.
I was definitely there for that. Yeah, he was killing it.
Yo, he went in.
Yeah.
DJ M is a problem. He's a problem around here. He's the best around here, and so that's, you know. So I'm gonna love seeing him tear it up at this Boss Humboldt show. You know what I'm saying? That's what the focus of this Boss Humboldt show is. The DJ party and the dance party side of it. And so
he'll kill it.
Yeah, so he's gonna take it up. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So shout out to DJ M, shout out to Rebecca with Boss Humboldt. You know what I'm saying? I love what she's doing. So but yeah, you got some options. November 17th, November 18th is gonna be some dope parties at that party. On November 18th, we got the Homies Highway. It's gonna be there. We got Rock Slang. It's gonna be there.
Yeah.
The homies from Blow Some, Pook and D, Devious D and Pook.
Yeah.
They're gonna be there. The homegirl Krista, Royalty 707. She's gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be there doing my little thing I usually do. Probably some visuals. You know what I'm saying? Usual, you know how we do it in Humboldt County. You know what it is. You're usually gonna find me floating around at a show unless I'm here taking care of my baby. So you know,
being dad, that's what's up.
Yeah, but I mean, we got some options this weekend, y'all. So make sure you tap in with those parties. I mean, that's just more, like I said, it's getting to the point now in Humboldt County where just about any weekend you can go out and see a dope hip hop show in Humboldt County, and I love it.
And there's also Fuego going down that night.
Ooh, there sure is.
Yes,
Yep.
those are fun.
You see, that's actually a segue. That's going to be another segue.
Those
Shout
are
out to the
fun.
Nostalgia Crew and DJ Static, Divinity, Gay Pressure, the homies that have been holding down the Fuego and the Nostalgia Crew scene, the dancers, you know what I'm saying? They're important too. Shout out to Sequoia, Noel, E, you know what I'm saying? But that's going to be another segue because we have an announcement before we, end the podcast. I want to make sure we announce the moves that are coming down the pipe with what you're going to be doing for Hip Hop Humboldt. That's going to be some heat, you know what I'm saying? And thank you, Goldylocks, man, just for all you do for the Humboldt County hip hop, for the Humboldt County music scene, period.
I mean, I'm fine with it being targeted in the hip hop direction, but yeah, dude, thank you, dude. It's like I said, it's just it's an honor because like there's so many. This is just an amazingly unique place. It's a small town, but there's like just so many creative people here. So I mean, if I just have the opportunity to play good music while we get together and do shit
and talk about hip hop, you can't go wrong.
That's wonderful. Yeah, and this new podcast thing that we're doing is gonna be dope, man. Reaching out and tapping into the producers and the DJs around here.
There's so many dope people around here, and then the idea that you had. So I'm not trying to reveal what's going down. I'm just saying Goldylocks has some vision for this one. Talking about bringing the homies and the homegirls, having them bring their music to play during the podcast, some beats and stuff. That's what's up.
Yeah, I like the opportunity of just like if we're gonna be talking to DJs and we're talking to producers, like let's tap in on a little bit of their work.
Yep.
So like
it's important, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about painting that picture. And so, when we're here doing this, doing the interview, you know what I'm saying? It's a certain picture that's painted, but you do not get to see the actual painting unless you go out to a Goldylocks show. You know what I'm saying? So there's that part, and adding the music into the podcast that gives them a taste of it.
Exactly.
I even had, again, shout out to the homie Garth Cultivator, but Garth Cultivator left a comment. I think it was on the YouTube talking about on the Dirty Rats podcast episode, talking about, I really loved listening to the Dirty Rats music, on this podcast while I was driving and stuff like that. So that took it up. That's amping it up. And so shout out to you for bringing that vision and your energy and effort towards the HipHopHumboldt Podcast, and again, just the scene in general, brother. You're a pillar around here, and I know a lot of people feel the same way.
Yeah, it's I hear that, and it's an honor. Like I don't even know how to really take it sometimes. I've had people tell me that I don't accept it well. I think there's some truth to that, but like I do think that like it's important to be humble about the moves you make, and like life checks you so fast. So like it's really just an honor. Like it really is. I feel like wherever I've wanted to live in my life or whatever I've done with my life has led me to where like I am, and I want to live in Humboldt County. I love this community. And like as someone who grew up here and had the opportunity to leave and decide to come back, like it's just a little bit different, and I do really love this place. And I think there's a lot of like places that are really special, and it's important to have like people that give a fuck,
Yep.
and are willing to like donate, their time and their energy, because cultural currency is more important.
That's a bar.
It really is. Like, if you don't have money, but you have people that care about you, you can live, And when we get so selfish that we forget that it's really easy to take care of each other if you share. If you just, look out and see how you can help. Even in the smallest ways, by like just enriching the place with music, enriching it with art. It's crazy, but it's really true. And there's a lot of that that's struggling. And in certain places in Humboldt County, you get a lot of people that really care about the community and be into, the opportunity to like rub elbows with these people and call some of them like super close friends, people that never ever get like actually noticed in any type of way. Yeah, dude, it makes me care about the things that I do.
It's important.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. That's so crucial. I was, one of the shows I did earlier this year at the Siren Song. I think it was the shout out to Maniac 707. That was a dope show. Highway was there, Forrest Green, the homie Karma the Prophet, and so one of the people on that show just said something to me, and it really struck me. And they just said like, "Hey, thank you guys so much for putting this on, because like I haven't had a chance to even just have a microphone and get my creativity out there." And it was, I don't even want to take it to the level this person took it to, serious levels, but like it has an impact on people's mental health when they don't have the opportunity to get their creativity and their energy out there.
Yeah.
And so that's, again, I've said this on the podcast before, but that's why it's so crucial for what Dylan Collins and Word Humboldt was doing, continues to do. Like people have to have these avenues and outlets to get their creativity out there. Otherwise, man, like you're stifling your soul on levels where it starts to reflect in your life.
Yeah, and I mean, like, noticing that, like, if you can, like, have those platforms and, like, help facilitate that shit is huge, dude. Like, when I got the opportunity to just write, that was, like, the biggest driving force. and I didn't get in trouble, but I had to be told to like chill out kind of a little bit, because I would have a guest on like every week, if not every other week, for almost 2 years, you know, and it was wonderful. But like a huge part of that show has always been like, okay, I get at first I get 2 hours. It used to be 7 to 9, and then I got it widened to 7 to 10. But it was like, I have this amount of time to play music. Getting to play like edited radio friendly versions of like local artists, dude, it brings me so much joy to like just incorporate that into music that we're already as a community either loving or we're probably hopefully gonna like it and haven't been exposed to it yet type situation. Mm-hmm. But like being able to mix in like area sound and like raw and, you know, playing fucking Las Cosmos. You know what I mean? But like, that's been so cool. I love it when like local artists fuck with just right, you know? And like,
I hope y'all are hearing that.
Yeah, if you're an artist and you want, and like you feel like, you know, you're moving with like integrity and like genuine shit, fuck with me, dude. I can't, you know, I obviously am existing under like FCC regulated statutes, so it has to be edits. But it's great, dude, and like, yeah, being able to like find ways to like mix that in certain like, to go from like Yasin Bey to, you know, ATG. It's like, this is dope, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I get to use producers' beats as like the 5-minute freestyles and shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's really cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
That's one of those superpowers, man, that I think, I don't know, you know.
But, like, when you have that opportunity, when you have that platform, like, yeah, it's really cool. Like, when you fucking tap in, there's not a lot of that. You know?
No, I agree. I think that...
and, dude, you deserve your flowers. I've been wanting to say this when, like, you invited me to come do this. The whole time I was like, I don't know how many people have gotten to tell you congratulations on winning the best ofs. But that's massive, dude.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
That's really big.
Thank you,
and I was so proud of you for that.
It's been some work, but it's been so much fun.
I know so many people that listen to the podcast that like don't come from this area and haven't been able to tap into the scene or really know what's going on around here. And they talk to me about it, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I love hearing that, man. Dude, that's crazy.
No, I mean, it's important. It's like you're doing the same thing. Like, you're creating a platform for, you know, people to have, like, a place. And, like, representation is massive for everybody.
It really is.
Yeah.
No, it really is. Especially around here, you know what I'm saying? I feel like the hip-hop scene around here has been historically under, you know, there's some level of a lack of congruence with how much dope hip-hop is out and how many dope hip-hop artists and producers are out here, and the exposure that people get to it out here. And so, you know, I've been blessed to even just create, you know, something that has balanced that out a bit, right? Yeah. But, you know, you've been doing just right. And again, like you said, you've had, you know, artists on for 2 years straight there. You know what I'm saying? That's infrastructure. That is crucial infrastructure, because I may be wrong, but before you were doing just right, I think the only presence that hip hop had in Humboldt County on the radio was The Party.
Yeah, and KRFH.
Yeah.
You would get some shit from them. You would get music. You would get pirate radio had hip hop from time to time. You know.
Yeah, shout out to Radio Free Humboldt and Pirate Radio too, though, for real.
But yeah, dude, for radio, such a fucking like basic and easy way for you to like receive information, you know, from somewhere else in the world, and like, yeah. But it's crazy. It's crazy to me right now that it's still only just right, you know, in ways. And I don't mean that in any disrespectful way. I know that like Humboldt Hot Air has been fucking coming with it now, and I'm
shout
like,
out to
yes,
Hot Air, yeah,
you know what I mean?
For real.
But like, that's not being given enough attention.
They definitely deserve more.
I mean, they deserve so much more. They deserve better equipment and like more of broadcasting power. And like, it's a shame that there isn't a stronger way for it to just be around. Like, to me, it annoys me when I hear like just like commercial garbage, kind of pop hip hop on a Burger King commercial. I'm like, can we stop, dude? Like, this is annoying. There's so much great music out here, and it gets clouded by kind of junk.
Yep. That's one of the paradigms in hip hop now, right? Like I've seen, different things in the news recently, right? Hip hop's down like 40%. I don't know whether that's streaming or sales, but
well, I mean, I think at the same time, my point with that is that it's still it's consumed on such a massive level. It's such a successful like thing that people can commoditize that it's annoying that there's not more opportunities in places like this. You have to leave, and that sucks because not everybody has the opportunities or like the funds to be able to do that. It's beautiful to see like people touring and like making moves. That's like, oh man, you don't see enough of that.
Right. Yeah. Shout out to everybody that, the homie Swiss has, been moving consistently, but we got some of the young cats out here going on tour. Shout out to City Hippie, what I'm saying? They just
ended in that Reading connection. I've been hearing about this. Some shipbuilding there.
Yeah, that's how you do it. You know what I mean? You just start to look at these other scenes and you start to work together. Do a show, bring out, as many people as you can from both of those scenes, man, and they're gonna go around real soon. Unless I'm wrong, I'm not, I'm not, anybody's keeper, but to my understanding, they're gonna start another tour here pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be hitting the road, and so that's what we need. Hey, shout out to Highway.
I loved it when him and Pressure went on the road. That was great.
Highway and Pressure?
Yeah, they did. They did some shows together. I remember they made some joke about Los Bagels needs to fucking sponsor them. I was like, that's the funniest shit I'm like, dude. Those guys they're so talented and so funny. Yeah.
Heck yeah. See, no, that's what's up. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Highway's been consistally touring.
I think he did 2 tours this year, man. The West Coast Love Tour and the the one that he just finished, the Believers 10 tour or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching all of it on.
Yeah. Me too, man. It was dope to watch.
I got to see him perform last night at the gym, and like, yeah, dude, he's always so good live, but you can tell he's been like putting in that work to like just like, I don't know, be fucking better. God damn.
He loves
nuts.
And that's why I love people like Highway that are, literally leveling things up to set the bar to new standards. So that way it's like, well, you could be under this standard, but there is people out here above that standard.
Executing.
Yeah, that's right.
Consistently executing. Yeah.
And he's just another one like you're talking about, you know what I mean? But he's got it in his blood.
Yeah.
I was trying to, when you were talking about, your brother and sister earlier and everything like that, you're talking about how your brother's a savant. Do you have music in your blood?
No, my family fucks with food.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize that the more and more. There's a couple chefs in my family. My grandma, everybody in my family is just like, I feel like we tap in really well, and like that's one of our like deepest love languages is like good family meal. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's so much power behind it, man.
It really is, yeah. But no, my it's not like a lot of musical background in my family that I know of. I was also raised in a certain way where I was a little shielded from like some of like my family, and I'm kind of tapping into more and more of that now. But at a young age, I didn't know super a lot about like my family background.
Yeah. Hey man, no, I loved hearing it because your brother sounds like, the talent. So then if just potentially there was not anybody musically inclined in the past in your family, then he's a pioneer with it at that level.
Well, my parents, I I would say my dad is like really great at creating something physically, and my mom was, that would be like, I think something that my dad would be more, if he could do an art, he would be able to create something. He was a carpenter, a journeyman carpenter for a long time, and like he can do all that stuff, and so like he can build, and he can create in a really awesome way. My mom was really blessed to be able to draw, and was a fantastic artist when she was, younger, before she had us kids. But I have noticed that passed on. So like my sister is an amazing artist. My brother was able to flex it more with music, but he was also capable of doing a lot of things. He loved like geometric art, which I always thought was fucking bizarre. Like I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, stop. And like I definitely got some to trickle down to both of that, and I definitely feel like I'm super blessed to come from something that might not be like crazy artistic as far as my family, but we're definitely from a place that like nurtures artists. So being able to tap into a little bit and have people that nurture that definitely happened.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
I love hearing that on the interviews on this podcast, when I hear people have that really supportive, whether it's your parents or just people around you that really believe in you, it's crucial. I
run into some of my teachers from McKinleyville High from time to time, doing events. And I just recently ran into my art teacher, and it was so cool because I told him way back then, I want to do something with music, And being that like my sister was such like a force, in his class prior, he knew who I was, kind of in the shadow of, and so he was really cool, and he like nurtured a lot of like creative confidence in me. So people like that, yeah, that's what it's about, dude. That's the community shit.
Yep. Now that's that Humboldt community shit, man. We love it. That's why there's so much dope art around here. People cultivating that, people that have seen that, people that got away from places that were, people that came up here, in the 60s and 70s, right? You know what I mean? People with minds that were very aesthetically inclined, you know what I mean? But the harshness of the city and things like that, weren't conducive for them. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people up here, the pioneers, you know what I'm saying, that really set the stage for current day Humboldt County and all the art and the different niches that exist,
This is a very unique place.
Really is.
Yeah.
And speaking of, I wanted to move the timeline forward. We talked about November 17th. That's going to be a dope show at the Basement. We talked about November 18th. That's going to be a dope show at above Louis out there. But man, this December 2nd show, I mean, again, this is one that you're not going to want to miss.
And I'm blessed. I'm just going to be scratching, I think. I think that's all I'm asked to do. Which, if that's true, I mean, anything I get asked to do would be an honor. But, like, if that's all I need to do, like, yeah, I've already been thinking, damn, I need to get some time to practice. I need to, like, chill out and just be alone with some instrumentals for a while and cut and have a good time and tap in. Because there's so few opportunities like that. A band, a really great band.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then, like, I'm going to be, like, one of multiple DJs that are kind of given the same task. GMG is kind of, like, loosely running, like, the whole production side. I'm just like, fuck.
So I may be, letting information out there that I shouldn't be. It's not important stuff, so it's not that big of a deal. But, man, so, the homies Ian from Object Heavy and GMG are putting in a serious amount of work on the music side for this show, and so people may not, a lot of people may not even understand exactly what's going down with this show. Let me let them know,
I was about to say, I it makes total sense to me, but yeah.
They're not going to see it until they see it, but I mean, so we've got the Oh So Heavy house band that is going to be backing all of these MCs. And so we're talking about live instruments, doing all the MCs are doing songs that they already have.
Yeah, they submit the music. How gangster is that? Okay,
right.
so this is what I want to do, and then the band learns it. And like last year, like seeing Rude, wow.
At the Halloween one?
They're so fucking dope. Like, just how you get them, you know, right now when you go and listen to their music. But with that band, bruh, I told Track afterwards, and I've known Track for a long fucking time. I told him, bruh, what? That was mind blowing. That was the dopest shit I've ever seen y'all do. And he was like, I saw you on the stage freaking out. I just had like a what? Like, this is good. But dude, it's indescribable, man. It's powerful. You know what I mean? I felt like I saw a new side of soul that night that I'd never seen before. You know what I mean? And a live band. I mean, I love being a DJ. I love being a turntablist, but I'll never have anything on a fucking band. You know what I mean? Like, I know what I'm capable of and what a good DJ should do. But a band, it's the next logical progression. You know what I mean?
It takes it up.
And bro, look at successful areas that put out great movements. There's a fucking band involved.
Facts.
There's people that play instruments involved. This is so important for like our scene. You know what I mean?
Yep. It shows how important Object Heavy is for the scene. You know, so Object Heavy has been tapping in with the community and doing these shows like this. If you missed the Charlie Tuna and my Rashad show, you missed out. But so if you missed that one, don't miss this one. I know. I missed it too. Okay. I'm reminding myself. No, man, I want to make sure. You know, hey, we missed some. You know, I forgot what the last one was that I missed, but it was a big one. You know, there's some dope ones around here, but this December 2nd show, though, man, like, I mean, 20 plus MCs. We've got 5 DJs. We've got you, Jay the Sarge, GMG. Who's on there? Professor Funk's on there. Not a Clue's on there. Yeah. I mean, and just one. And so, I mean, it's really like an all-star level, you know, kind of event. And it, you know, when you add in Object Heavy, see, the last big Object Heavy show that I went to was the album release party, and see, that was a red carpet level show. You know, I mean, everybody in Humboldt County hip hop, it was a who's who.
That was the Blue Lake gig, right?
That's right.
That was great. Yeah,
that was all the homies, you know.
Yeah, that was the night I got to find out about Huck's hot sauce.
Hey, yeah, yep.
Game changer.
That's it. That's really it, man. And so, shout out to Brian Swislow. Shout out to Adam. Shout out to Ian. Shout out to GMG. Shout out to Richard Love.
Oh, yeah.
The people that are facilitating this in the background. You know, B. Swislow's name is on it. Hip Hop Humboldt's name is on it. But let me tell you what, B. Swislow is doing the overwhelming majority of the work for this event. And that continues
and
the legacy.
Too. Mo is also
100%.
doing a lot of work with Black Humboldt.
Oh, 100%. I definitely don't want to forget about what Mo's doing for this event. Mo and Brian are really this event is there. They're behind this event for all intents and purposes. It's really beautiful to see.
Yeah.
You know, and so it just continues this legacy, this beautiful legacy of what Brian has done, what Monique has done for the community. This is a benefit for the Hip Hop Congress, and Black Humboldt.
Yeah, and I've seen Knack with Object Heavy. I've seen Eli and Flo J. I've seen Reef, Soul, all the artists that got down last year. But this year, like Amani Eternal, she's going to be in the mix, right?
Yep.
Oh my God, there's going to be so many artists that have been working and putting in a lot of great work. And I'm like, it's impressive that, you know, Swizz and the band are going to learn that much music.
Right. 40 plus tracks. I'm not going to say when they started, but I'm just saying they're learning about 40 plus tracks in about the span of a month or so. That is not easy. That's not
fucking crazy, dude.
It really is.
Yeah. I mean, I get to see like ATG and Ruffian perform with them. That's like
with
some
the
fucking
live
shit
band.
for me.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean?
For real.
It's crazy. Like it's really great, dude. Like, yeah.
I'm gonna be super interested to see the different tracks. I don't have any visibility on it, and which is great. It's gonna be a surprise for me to see what tracks the homies picked out.
Right?
You know? Oh,
yeah.
man.
No, that's something totally else, man. It's funny because like as the person who facilitates, kind of just like the music of a lot of shows, it's interesting to see like how people, present themselves. You got 2 songs. You're a whole ass artist. You know what I mean?
They're gonna bring it.
They do
with the live band, and so it's a whole nother perspective for everybody too. I mean, not just the audience, but the artists. They're gonna be like, oh man, this is something I've never done potentially.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, it's object heavy backing it, so that really amps up the level of professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
With everything, because you're not going to come, like I said, the Object Heavy album release party was a who's who, and so everybody saw the quality of that production. Shout out to Just One and all he did on the visuals for that show. You know what I'm saying? People got to see.
I love that they had. I'm spacing his name, but the hand percussion.
Galen Davis.
Whenever they got someone that can come through, because I know they've rotated a few times. When they're touring and who has the availability, when they get those hand drums in there and like I don't even know what all those instruments are called, but
I know
it elevates it.
It really does
in such a great way. I think the last time I got to see them was at CanFest, and G Davis was back there
killing it,
hitting them with it, and I loved it because like I see that dude murder it as a DJ so often,
right? And
then he's over here just vibing out with Object Heavy. It was beautiful.
On the percussions too, the dude has range, man. And I'm talking the level of talent that G Davis is fucking with, bro. It's on another level.
He's great.
Yeah, he killed that cipher too, though. The Fat Bowl cipher that day. I mean, hey man, this ain't shade on you, brother. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to prop up the homies. G Davis fucking killed that.
I was so happy that I got to just start the day. Honestly, like, y'all don't even, that's like low-key my favorite shit. And I know some people might not like to open. I don't mind opening. I'm more of a chill individual. I don't mind like getting you in a certain comfort zone. Then let pressure just do his thing. You know what I mean? I like that. It's fun. It's actually quite enjoyable. And I felt like it was a great way to start the day. You know what I mean? And so when I was done, and Pounds and G Davis and Just One could just vibe. It was beautiful.
Yep.
Yep.
They killed that.
Mm-hmm.
I love the back and forth. They were all three. You know what I'm saying? That's that Humboldt energy. You know what I'm saying?
And I didn't know they were trying to keep the cipher going. So like, they were just having we were all just having so much fun. We started kind of like rapping over here in the corner, and then Just One was like, we got microphones, right? That's when I took a step back. I was like, all right, Flo J, y'all go, Hyatt, go crazy.
Yeah.
I just got to chill out. That was nice.
That was a super dope moment, man. At the CanFest where you could just smoke, just walk around. I mean, the whole time I was smoking both days, It was 3 days. It was 3 days worth of events, Shout out that Head Stash competition. For the people that missed the Head Stash competition this year, I mean, I don't know what you have to do. You might have to get down with some clicks, the right people to get to the next one or whatever, but you don't want to miss it. Because that was something else. That was one of those, moments, Seeing our brother Bobby Flo J in an all-black suit, iced out. He had this chain on that was, it was blinding me.
That dude definitely, Flo J comes with it. I always feel like I love when he shines and puts himself forward in a way that makes him feel happy, and then I'm so whatever, I come up just like this. A simple t-shirt, I'm good.
Hey,
I don't need to be fancy.
You an artist out here, bro. Let me tell you what, you killing it. I'm telling you, I see you rocking some dope gear out here, man. I saw you rocking that one sweater with the patches and everything.
Yeah.
That's Humboldt chic out here, straight up, bro. You kill it out here. No, I love it. I see it.
Upcycled stuff, man.
Yeah.
Shouts out to all the people that do that.
Yeah, they be out here. I said, hey, shout out to some of my people out here. My homie Albert, because he fucks with Crave. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Crave out there in the Sunny Braylo complex. They got a good little shop out there.
Yeah, Living Doll Vintage does great alterations too. So
I didn't even know that Irie's doing alterations out there at Living Doll Vintage in Eureka Old Town.
Was I not supposed to say that?
Oh, I don't even know. I'm sure you're supposed to say it. They'll love to.
I mean, she told me like,
hey, it's an avenue. If there's some money to be made, I'm saying she can't turn it down though. People gonna come to her and want to do it. So hey, let's do it.
I mean, for me, like that's massive. Like I like when I can like just have something fit me right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so if it only costs me a little bit of money to do something proper, hem pants, like.
Right.
I'm good with my hands, but I'm not good at doing all these things. Like, so when it comes to certain things, like, I will gladly pay other people for their expertise. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Hey, thanks for bringing up Living Doll Vintage, though. That shop is blowing up, to be real about it. She opened that shop I don't know if it's been a year or around a year or so, but she's killing it.
Yeah.
All the homegirls tap in with Living Doll Vintage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Irie's way cool. The first time I met her in like kind of her tribe was at these low key cannabis events, and they weren't exactly. It was in that very gray area of weed legality in Humboldt County when we were going from, black to white markets and what you could and couldn't do and. Great movement for like just it was a good scene for community for sure, and that's the first time I met her. Great person, wonderful, yeah.
Heck yeah.
She hits me up when I'm on the point sometimes and just like lets me know that like she's fucking with like this song, and I love that. It's like, yeah,
she's a real one.
Absolutely. I mean, dude, she plays the flute.
Yep.
We gotta get that again. If you listening, we need to get that again.
For real. Hey, that's one of the things out here. I just thought of that, man. Like, hey, the hip hop artists out here, or any artists out here, make sure you tap in with Irie Adina. Get her to feature and get that flute on one of y'all's tracks.
Hey.
That's gonna amp it up.
I mean, it's cool when you get like real instrumentation in the mix. Mm-hmm. I know certain artists have been doing that for a long time, but it definitely elevates.
We were just talking about G. Davis.
Mm-hmm.
And
who also has like crazy production that we mentioned earlier, but I don't know if a lot of people know this, but yeah, Ian from Object Heavy can make some. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man. Hey, I got a lot of love for all the dudes from Object Heavy. Like those dudes, they're doing it on a whole nother level, and so that's what Humboldt County has always needed, and so. Between Object Heavy, we got Digging Dirt out there too. You know what I'm saying? We need those type of bands really putting Humboldt County on the map, literally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, I mean, absolutely. I love that I can be like a fucking big fan of people out here that are executing like that. It's really great.
It's super dope. Bro, you a stalwart. You come to all the shows. I thought I went to a lot of shows, bro. You go to all the shows.
I've been chilling out, man. I'm getting like as I get older, it's nicer to take my time to rest. I think we all start to understand how important it is to rest as we age, but I definitely am blessed. I don't really get like free tickets to shows and shit, but like I don't know. It's great to go out and support. So I try to do that when I can.
Yep.
And
Now you a real one, bro. You ain't out here asking for free tickets. You supporting them. You know the value of paying for the tickets, and you know what I'm saying. That's important. Like nobody should be ever, especially in Humboldt County, do not be out here asking for free tickets to events. People work and people put in time. Artists, promoters, DJs.
I mean, it's lovely when I'm given a couple free tickets, since then I get to hook up with people that I would love to have at the show,
And have a good time, yeah.
But yeah, if, it's worth it. It's worth it to support, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And, I mean, so much work and time and energy goes into things. And if you're only consuming it at $10 or less than that,
the people are getting stoked out at $5 and $10 shows. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely kind of a weird subject to touch up on too, because then it's like, well, what are you anticipating for that money? What is, did you get your money's worth?
No, I know. You know. That is an interesting conversation, because you don't always get magic. You may pay $5, you may pay $10, $15, $20, $30 or more. I've seen shows. I think Riff Raff was just up here. I ain't gonna talk about nobody. I'm just saying sometimes there's shows where the tickets are $40, or more.
Oh yeah.
And and you're not promised magic anytime, not every single time, but. When you go to the right shows that have been put on by the right people, you tap in with B Swizzlo shows.
It's definitely healthy to manage your expectations, but with that being said, dude, like it took me a long time to have the confidence to scratch in front of a crowd of people, So I feel like there's something healthy about like work for it. You know what I mean? Like try to impress that crowd a little bit.
Right.
They did pay money. They could have not. So
right. It makes a big difference. You really do have to put yourself out there and be brave, and and that's your whether you're just a selector as a DJ. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I was just helping my bro Albert at the Iceman show at the Goat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? So I could have. I'm just busy as fuck right now, so I really didn't have a whole lot of time to get a set together or nothing like that. I'll tell you straight up, I didn't have time to get a set together.
Sometimes it's like that.
It really is, and so I was just improvising it, just trying my absolute best. Like, hey, I feel like this one's gonna be a dope. People will like this one next. The Iceman came up at the end of the show. He's like, hey, you a dope DJ. You know what I'm saying? You picked the right songs. You know what I'm saying? And that felt, that's so meaningful. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't even, it's not like I really I wasn't like building, like a NASA, what I'm saying, space shuttle or nothing like that. I'm just saying, I put in my energy in that time and in that moment, and it was felt, And so that's what you get when you come out to these shows. You get that reciprocation. The artists, the DJs, people putting on, they're giving you energy, and you get to receive it and give it back. And this beautiful flow that people, if you haven't been exposed to Humboldt County Hip Hop on the right levels, you may not know what goes on. But I'm telling you, the shows are fire out here.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be good or bad shows all the time. Things happen.
Right.
I've had horrible shows. At least in my opinion, horrible shows. I've had people that, I've had interesting things that have happened in my life as far as DJing goes, but...
you ever been heckled?
Huh?
You ever been heckled?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. You don't have to get into it if you don't want to.
Oh, no, I don't mind, but it's a very humbling thing to be... person that provides music for events, public events, like the larger, the more scrutinized. It's one of the worst experiences for me. So I love Herbie Hancock. I always have. I named like my first dog Herbie because I was listening to a record from him when a friend basically was like, "Here's a dog," and he's had like awesome moments in my life musically that just make him significant. Where was I going? So I was investing myself and my collection into some pretty amazing Herbie Hancock records, things that were hard to find, things that were really great, and I didn't really have any validity if other people thought these songs were good. I think they're awesome. And then I was watching a random clip online, and Snoop Dogg was DJing a fucking roller rink party. And he played this particular Herbie Hancock song, and I was like, this is a good... I knew this was a jam. I knew this was a fucking jam. I've never heard other DJs bring this out. Like, this has to be special.
Yeah.
So I played it at this event, and this absolute Karen comes up. Do you have any dance music? And I was just like, could you be more specific? Like, what do you dance to? Could we just cut to the chase? Like, I'm not a mind reader. I'm a record collector. You know what I mean? Sometimes I think people put a lot of expectations on the DJ too, and it can be a little unfair. 100%. Managing your expectations when you go out and about, I think, is important.
It really is.
And I think if there's any DJs that watch this episode, it's a shame that you run into so many people that can't just enjoy the vibe that you're trying to set. Sometimes, like, I think a lot of DJs will look at things and, like, people that fuck with community events and try to build, you look at things in a macro perspective. You're trying to see the big picture and how you would hope things happen after this event. And so you act in a certain way. And when people don't get that immediate pleasure, because it hasn't really set in yet, so they need to tell you how you should have done it, it's frustrating.
Yep.
You know? It's annoying when you give a fuck. You know?
Right. It really echoes.
That's kind of like, I think that in a very catalyst way is why some DJs don't like requests.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fuck with me with that shit. You know? And
I see the memes out there, DJs. You know, there's memes out there where you do not mess with a DJ. You know what I'm saying? You should honestly not be. Like I've been to parties before I knew better. And
some dudes got it like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I've been to parties where it's a Christmas party, and people start requesting stuff and everything and I didn't know any better. But as you start to figure out, once you actually start doing it, when I started to do it, and realize, no man, like I actually cannot. You have to be a DJ at a certain level. So if you can go to a DJ and make a request and them actually fit that in or even next, you better at least recognize the skill required.
Yeah. I just heard something about Newmark talking about this, and he couldn't have done it better. I'm not going to say this Anita, but that is such a skill to be able to like deal with this person and, I can do that right now. I can do it well. Have a good day. That's crazy.
That's a superpower. That's like Miss Marvel.
And it can definitely be super humbling, It's nice when, it's a beautiful thing when you can do that. I've had some opportunities where I've gotten to have great experiences, but I've also had other ones where it wasn't nice. Yeah. But
that's like the homegirls, the vagabond dancer homegirls that were on the podcast were talking about when people come up to them talking about, oh, I can dance better than you or this or that. It's like, don't do that. Like even
what does that prove?
Right.
Are you looking for like a movie scenario to unfold in front of you right now?
Right.
Manage your expectations. That's crazy.
Exactly.
Why don't you just dance and have fun?
Exactly. When you pay to be there. Imagine paying to literally go and be salty towards people that are probably not even getting paid what they should probably be getting paid.
Oh, yeah.
That is wild to me.
Yeah, I mean, art's definitely never. You rarely get to see an artist, we could talk about that forever.
It's crazy. But that's one of the good things about Humboldt County, though, is that we do have these beautiful moments that people can come and you can come enjoy, whether it's, again, the Fat Bowl Cypher, go down to the Inside Cypher if you're an MC and want to go down there, or just want to go down and enjoy it, But Humboldt County has some infrastructure, now, at this point, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head who's doing what around here, because there's a lot of new parties going down in terms of like monthly parties. I'm going to start to slow back. HipHopHumboldt was doing a monthly party, and we're just going to go a little slower. It's just a lot of work, and I don't know if the monthly party was necessarily, this brand is important to the community, and so I want to make sure that it's not being diluted with necessarily like a monthly show, that might not even necessarily dilute it. Some people's perceptions might be...
rest.
What's up?
Rest.
Yeah,
it's okay.
That's it for me.
Not everything has to be so structured. Mm-hmm. Doing something, at a set increment will wear you out. It gets annoying.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, it just is what it is. I think every time you have something that you can't, like, you have to do it on this day, you're like, oh, fuck. And I think it's human nature. So I think it's important to recognize, to rest. As human beings, we can adapt. You know what I mean?
Right.
We can adapt, we can think critically, and we can do other shit. So it's like...
change it up, yeah.
There's enough people in Humboldt County where it's like, if you took some time to build, the shows that you want to put energy into and do it when you feel like it's right, there you go. Right. I think there's so much opportunity and people that can make these things happen in Humboldt County that we can all eat.
Exactly. Exactly. And we can eat even better if we all work together.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Like
at least at times.
Yeah.
It's not like we
doesn't
can all
always
be
work
doing the
like
same
that.
show at the same time, but we can
Right.
be tapping in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's this interesting thing where I've talked about it on the last few podcasts, but so I feel like the amount of people that are involved in Humboldt County hip hop, between MCs, between producers, between DJs, between people, mixing it, people doing mixing like Juice, what I'm saying, or managing, like all the different facets of people that are involved with Humboldt County hip hop. To me, I really look at it and it's at least 200 to like 400 to maybe 500 people. It's a lot of people. Not everybody comes up out of the woodwork to be seen and this and that.
I wouldn't even try to count numbers.
Right. I feel like it's so many. It really does. I agree. I completely agree with you. And so it's at this interesting point where, we're having more shows happen. We're having more. We got shows happening at the Chris.
Well, Humboldt County is just growing.
It's growing, and it's really dope to see.
You've been helping that. You've been like really amplifying it with the podcast, which is great. But like,
we all got to do our part.
Humboldt County has been growing. When I talk to my friends, that's just been kind of a common denominator in so many conversations. Like, people around here are really working.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And it's nice. Like it's really nice.
It really is. Now, it's beautiful to see. I really love seeing it because I've listened to people's stories and the backgrounds and knowing that people have a love for this art and this culture in their heart, And so I couldn't even think of people that are, vulturing the culture. It's people getting their creativity out. You know what I'm saying? So it's so beautiful to see that around here.
Kind of like we touched up on with Highway, like you're going to have standards. Right. You're going to have to start meeting these standards because people were doing it. It's been done a few times. It's being done more consistently now, and it's getting stronger.
That's right. So if you don't have just within yourself, because everybody's at different capacities, if you don't have the capacity to stay consistent, as let's just say somebody like a Highway is out here, then you need to understand where you're at, collaborate with other people, and pull in people with those strengths because they're out there. There's videographers out there, there's producers out there. Shout out to GMG. Honestly, when I look at the culture out here in general, I feel that a couple of the few underrepresented hats are DJs and producers. And I say that because I feel like there could be more DJs out here, and I feel like the number of producers out here, I feel like that's one of the ones that's really limited.
Yeah, and we're starting like this new line on this new kind of avenue on the podcast. I'm so excited for what I'm like don't know about. That's been like the one thing that's been driving me the most. Like, I made a list of the people that I want to start reaching out to. And it's a pretty solid list, but I know I'm just like the tip of the iceberg, and I think that's hella fucking cool, dude. And I'm excited to like, that's one of the things when I do reach out to people and start doing these interviews, they're probably off. We'll probably edit it out, but yeah, I'm going to be asking everybody, who do you fuck with? Like, who do you think around here is not getting heard? Because
those are important questions. And
the
DJs are so crucial in that equation.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think at the heart of being a DJ, you're expressing yourself with music. You've chosen a certain way of doing it that might be a little different from a traditional sense of being a musician, but like, especially for me being a turntablist, it's an instrument, man. It's a way of expressing yourself is very personal. So having people like that around is nice. I've seen and heard a lot of jokes about how like when, you have a good DJ in the community, like, at least the noise complaints are for good music. Right. Shit like that, where it's like you're gonna get exposed to some shit, because I think what a lot of turntablists and a lot of like artists like to do is just to create and help amplify like the things that they like as well,
Shout out to Professor Funk, somebody that just came in my head, but Professor Funk's been out here blowing up, helping blow up not just hip hop but the drum and bass scene.
Dude. Yeah.
He's a staple out here.
Yeah, there's such beautiful tribes of DJs out here. And it's interesting because this is the HipHopHumboldt Podcast, and so I'm trying to keep it loosely ingrained, but when I said I was making a list, I'm like, well, I mean, they're dope, but is it hip hop? You know what I mean? If
they're dope, brother,
I'm probably gonna interview them.
Hit them up. Let's do it. The HipHopHumboldt Podcast is definitely gonna facilitate it, because that's, I want to bet. I mean, I don't know. I may be wrong about it, but there has been, just in general, a lack of exposure for. And I don't know whether it just goes into along the lines of hey, there's just so much art that happens around here. But there's a lot of people that deserve some exposure out here, more than they're getting.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm hoping that it's a way for also just producers to work with each other and keep collaborating. A huge part of that little thing I did, that little recorded mixtape, was to just kind of put my little stamp on an idea that's been done before, but just the live mixtape, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
we just ran beats live. There wasn't really any special order to it, and let MCs rock over that. And I feel like that is a recipe that so many people in anywhere can do, but especially here in Humboldt County. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's you get to tap into dope beats, dope rhymes from different people, and it's if it's slightly coordinated, so are most ciphers in ways. They're slightly coordinated. It's just
right.
Was there a microphone around?
There's still plenty of room for improvisation.
Absolutely.
But the structure's there.
Yeah. And I think that would be just a great thing to see other producers doing around here. Mm-hmm. So
that could be an idea that could go all kinds of different directions, but it's a great idea, brother,
right?
Because it could be
can't you see it
mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just I see these people that are making dope beats and the people that are just eating them up and recording and putting out content, and I'm it's dope. It's great, but it's not enough. And I do like the idea of there being some improvised parts. I think that's when artists really get to shine, is when you get to see their flaws too.
Mm-hmm.
So much of the music that we hear is perfect. You sat down and you recorded it and it's perfect.
Yep, you're hearing the final product.
But some of the best shit in life is imperfect.
Facts.
You know what I mean? I would be the worst DJ in the world if it came to who's perfect. You know what I mean? For real. When you look at who's out here,
if that was the standard,
man, if that's the standard, bro, I'm lacking. You know what I mean? And that's often the way how I judge myself too, is because I'm not perfect, but
that's a high ass standard, bro.
I'm also I'm really great with not being perfect, and I think some of my favorite artists, show that authenticity, and that's awesome. It's you can be both, and especially on the live shows, because I'm doing a lot of live shit. I've been blessed to have a few artists reach out to me and have me do scratching on their records and stuff, but I'm used to doing things live in the moment. Mm-hmm. What can I bring to the table, or tables, if you will, right now? And I fuck with that. That's fun. It's a very show and prove, which I love that a DJ can do that, but it goes the same with the MC. And so yeah, I love to hear an artist when they tap in and just drop some bars off, even if it's shit that they've spit a few times in their head, stanzas that they just love and have played around with.
Just go in.
Yeah, tapping in. It's something different, and it's really cool. And so I like when I get to hear artists do that. And so it's different. It's just, and
I think that specific thing, tapping in, is what happens at the really dope events that happen in Humboldt County. Most definitely the Fat Bowl ciphers, you know what I'm saying? But people tapping into that energy. You know what I'm saying? And that's what
I feel like I missed
getting.
out at that last show at Richard's Goat. I saw a bunch of footage from it, and there was a band.
Oh, the Iceman show?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was super dope. It's been a few months, probably since the Object Heavy show at Blue Lake, potentially, but it had been a while since I had seen a band backing MCs, and it was dope, you know? Like, just the feeling of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some, speakers can create sounds, and they create definitely a dope picture. But live instruments, and when you got a drummer that's, fucking hitting that fucking drum on that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel that shit, you know what I'm saying? It rings different.
It always feels like the next logical progression to me, which makes me feel lightweight obsolete, but like, that's all right.
DJ will never be obsolete. Right?
No, I feel you, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, yeah.
No, and hey, shout out. I'm not trying to reveal too much about this December 2nd show, man, but folks are going to be in awe about this because, so we've got the DJs, y'all are going to be doing like, cueing the samples and shit like that on these songs when you guys are backing the MCs. So that's like something on another level, and especially for somebody that like you who said you fucked with the NPCs and everything.
I got to see it happen with Odyssey and Good Company.
Odyssey?
Live. Yeah. No, and it was the whole band. It was up in Eugene, and was it DJ Unknown? He just had the controller, and so he was doing certain samples and parts to like really like bring the band into like the whole. It was beautiful,
dude. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I would have loved to have been there. Odyssey's one of my favorite MCs. That dude goes hard.
Same here. He's very underrated.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole mellow music group, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but I mean, they're also so genuine. It's like, who cares? You know what I mean?
Yep. Fuck. Dude, that's so crazy, man. But that's a little taste of what you're gonna see on December 2nd, because we're gonna have the DJs queuing the samples real time, playing them. I mean, as somebody, I've been exposed to a lot, but there's only so much you can get exposed to. And so I'm thinking back of in prior instances, how often have I seen a live DJ queuing samples on, like, let's just say an MPC or a drum kit or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like Linkin Park level, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whether it was Mike Shinoda or the homies that were doing the DJing, the dude that was doing the DJing for Linkin Park, queuing, like, live samples and sounds and shit like that. Like, that's something that people have only been exposed to so often in their life. And so if you go to this show on December 2nd, it's a $20 show. It's going to be something like you've never seen.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All the homies doing this, man. Like, when I think about it, it's you, not a clue, the level of the DJs. I mean, it's the top DJs around here, the top MCs, all with Objects Heavy, the Oh So Heavy band backing them, basically. I mean, come on.
And it's like, that's so fun. I feel like for like turntablists and like people that like to DJ, like, dude, it's so fun when you get to just do like that sample work too. I've gotten a few times where I've gotten to do that, and it's like, it's just stupid fun. Like, all I have to do is be responsible for like a couple dope little hot cues and some scratches. Like,
oh, hell
yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait for that one, man. That's going to be right around the corner. Make sure you get your tickets for that. Buy them online. Buy the pre-sale. You know what I'm saying? It's at the ATL, and you ain't going to want to miss it.
No.
Man, family. Well, let me tell you what, bro. Like I've told other people on the podcast before, this podcast, I mean, hey, you're a part of the podcast at this point, because you're going to be interviewing. You literally HipHopHumboldt at this point, But, at any point when it's time to get you back in here, you know what I'm saying, we'll do that. I want to make sure that y'all tap in when you do see the episodes with Goldylocks interviewing the local DJs. Tap in. A word to the local DJs. I mean, hey, I want to apologize to y'all, because I was probably hitting y'all up maybe like a year ago, like, hey, you come on the podcast, but it's been difficult to get. I'm only one man. But now, that's why I expanded. I pulled on Albert to interview some of the younger cats in the community. We added on Brian Swislow, legend and OG in Humboldt County Hip Hop and Humboldt County in general, to help with interviewing the legends. you know, and now we got DJ Goldylocks to interview the DJs, producers. So it's y'all's time. This is y'all's time to get your exposure that you're well overdue for. Holler at Goldylocks. Come get on the podcast. I'm going to drop them, and we're going to get it moving. And that's what this Hip Hop Humboldt podcast has always been about, is giving exposure to the people that have created this beautiful landscape of art and music for this scene. It's truly beautiful.
Yeah. And I mean, it'll be wonderful, like, when hip hop has grown to a place where it's not like as
niche.
Yeah, I would love for it to just not even be. We can just be talking about whatever we want, and that happens to be a part of it.
That's right. That's right. It's moving in that direction. We're going towards that critical mass where at this there's, you know, hey, I'm not gonna tell you guys again. I love to hype stuff up and drop stuff, you know. But I'm saying again, Brian Swizzlow does a lot of work for this community, and so he is working on an article that's going to be coming out talking about Humboldt County Hip Hop for people. So stay tuned for that one. You know, stay tuned for the Humboldt County Hip Hop Congress and what the Congress is doing. The Congress is more infrastructure. If you're an artist out here in Humboldt County Hip Hop, I just really want to encourage you to tap in with the Hip Hop Congress, because it's not just, you know, it's infrastructure where the community, you know, the community really decides what this looks like long term in a sense, right? Come out, be a part. And help us make these events, help us make these memories and magic happen for the community.
Yeah.
You know, we need the help out here. We need everybody tapping in, working together. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop in Humboldt County is this scene where everybody's cool with each other. So we just need people tapping in. Make sure that, you know, events don't happen on the same days. That could be helpful. You know what I'm saying? That's some of that stuff that like the Hip Hop Congress is trying to facilitate. But hey, we don't even need the Hip Hop Congress necessarily to do that. Just tap in with people. Yeah. Be cool with people. Talk with my homie 2 Tank, who's running shows out there, the B2B show. Shout out to 2 Tank.
Yep.
Shout out to Nat 1, who's doing the Crisp shows. And, of course, the Cypher General for the Fat Bowl Cyphers, you know.
Yes,
if y'all tap in with the right people, y'all tap in with 2 Tank, y'all tap in with Nat 1, y'all tap in with my homie Albert, you know what I'm saying? You tap in with the right people, you're going to know when shows are happening. You're going to know, okay, hey, like, you know what I'm saying, let me have my show a different night, because if you have your show the same night as somebody else, it's almost doing everybody a disservice, because it's like splitting everything off. I want to go to everything. I fuck with everybody.
March 6th.
Remember that? I wanted to go to my homie Sequoia's show.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go to Devin the Dude. You know
I got
what I'm
booked
saying?
for Devin the Dude. So for me, it's like, this is obviously a great opportunity. And Sequoia had reached out to me and was like, hey, man, so we're kind of trying to do this thing in Old Town. And I was down. I'm 100% down. I was willing to volunteer, but like, yeah, the exposure for Devin the Dude, like, and I get paid? Like, yeah, I'm Sequoia, I love you. And he was way cool with it, but like, things like that happen. But that means now I instantly don't get to go to that show. I don't get to go see Total Devastation and Albert. It's just like, it is what it is. I'm not upset with like how life went, but shit like that happens.
Yep, and for us fans, that's not what that ain't it. We don't want to see that. We want to be able to. I want to go to everything, and I know you want to go to everything, and you want to see the homies, you know. And so, and speaking of that, you know what I'm saying. So I ain't talking any mess about anything that happened. I'm just saying I've been to Humboldt County shows where the turnout is minimal, and so that's the kind of thing where it's like, you know, like make sure y'all are tapping in. Even if it's for half an hour, go out and have a drink at a spot. Go out and have a drink at Louis. Go out and have a drink. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, where there's a hip hop show going down. Show love. Just show out, pop out. You don't have to stay for 3 hours I mean, we'd love to see y'all for the whole show.
One of my favorite moves is just I don't even be drinking. I like to smoke.
That's
it. I come out, I pay my ticket price. I'm like, what's happening? I get something that's some water, and from time to time I take breaks and go outside.
Exactly. Hey, you're doing the same thing I'm doing, bro. We know how it is.
Listen to the crisp, and then we can just smoke weed, and then I'm like, all right, cool. Yep. Yeah, that's nice.
And
hey, coming back around sometimes, though. I think the last show there, I was just in. Man, we'd be hitting you, and you're like, okay, fuck, dude, I only have 2 hands, and I'm supposed to work, like. Especially
at the Chris, bro, it gets thick in there, bro. Yeah, shout out to the Chris, they do some dope events, man.
Mac handed me a straight up bong, and just like, wow. It's not very often I get to hit a bong and DJ when I'm out and about. This shit is fantastic.
See, that's the power of the Crisp. I love it. See,
Yeah, that shit was cool.
You know, that's an upgrade for Humboldt County in general. Whether, you know, I've seen all kinds of events there, you know, speed dating, all kinds of different things there. And so,
yeah, consumption lounges are great.
Yeah.
It's breaking down stigma on cannabis, which is nice, and it's just giving people places to enjoy it, I guess, recreationally.
Yep. It was about time.
Well, I mean, growing up here, I mean, shit, I always took the perspective where it's like, unless, like, you think you're breaking the law. Or look like you're breaking the law, so
you're good.
Yeah, like the more casual and carefree, you could just smoke a joint anywhere. I was like, that makes me feel comfortable.
Hey, man, that's what life should really be, man. You know, we should be able to, as long as you ain't hurting nobody. I've never seen nobody hurt nobody by smoking a joint. You know, like we should be able to have the freedoms to relax and do the things we want to do. It's just interesting. It's so interesting, but that's one of the blessings of Humboldt County.
Yeah.
You know, we live up here. I've talked to family members, you know, from outside the area and everything like that. I remember when I was, you know, a student at HSU, just trying to get my family members to come up here to visit. And I'm like, well, yeah, man, you could walk down the street, you know, smoking the bong, you know what I mean, straight up. And the first year I went to what's now called Cal Poly, but of course Humboldt State University, I was living on Diamond Drive, right off of LK Wood, right from the school.
Yeah.
And I would literally see people smoking. I mean, hey, man, no, I did not see people. Maybe once or twice in 20 years in Humboldt have I seen people smoking a bong walking down the street in Arcata. But I saw them smoking. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's normal fare. So, and that's how it should be, man. You know.
Hey, if that's...
Alcohol, that's a different thing. You know, people go.
Thing. I guess each their own. Yeah.
Hey, I know what you mean. Yeah, sometimes you need it. Sometimes you need a little de-stressing coming from school and shit like that. You know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell anybody. I've seen some shit like that though.
Yeah, no, I know. Shout out to Cal Poly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope that, you know, this local area can that we can all find some congruence between Cal Poly, Humboldt growing, bringing more people in, properly housing people, properly taking care of people around here. You know, it's important, especially the students, man. Like, I came up here because of Humboldt State University. I'm not the only type of person that came up here and stayed. It doesn't happen often, but if we can get it to where the county is running well enough and people are like, nah, this is a better place, you know, maybe we get the healthcare situation better up here, people will start to stay. You know, smart people will start to stay, and it's only going to benefit our area, you know, if we don't continue to see what happens a lot, which is people come up here, learn a lot at Cal Poly Humboldt or Humboldt State, you know, and then leave. Mm-hmm. You know, I specifically graduated, I mean, probably 60 to 75% of the people I graduated with at Humboldt State moved away. You know, and so as a person that's stuck around, because I see the beauty of the area, I see the beauty of a lot of the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need people to stay around, stick around, tap in with Humboldt. A lot of people leave the area and come back because they see how dope, you know, how dope Humboldt County is with certain freedoms to where you can live your life in certain ways, you know?
Yeah. I heard NAC 1 say that we have our own little orbit, our own little thing with Humboldt County, and I feel like as the older I get, the more I understand that. But we do. Yeah, we really do. I mean, we're out of the way, you know, but it's a special place. And because it is kind of out of the way, we kind of have to operate with our own culture. We have to operate with our own community. And we have a really interesting community.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of dope people, man. Hey, Goldylocks, I really appreciate you going around and interviewing the personalities around here. That's going to be some work, so I appreciate the time and effort you're going to be putting into that in advance. Right? Yeah, no. You know, because it's important, you know, and shout out to my homie Albert, who's done it.
To Albert.
Yeah, he's a real one out here, man. He's really tapped in with the younger generation and the artists that are doing stuff out here, you know what I'm saying, on a level I am simply not. I would have floundered. The HipHopHumboldt Podcast would not be what it is without Albert.
Word.
You know, so shout out to him, man. Shout out to Brian Swizzo for bringing on what he's bringing to the table. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, he was on the podcast with Hap Hathaway. You know what I'm saying? He was on the podcast with Jay the Sarge. I was not tapping in with the community for the years when those homies were doing it. And Jay the Sarge and Hap, they're both still doing it. I'm just saying, you know, they've been doing it around here for a lot longer than I've been tapping in. So I needed that support. So thanks to Brian Swizlo.
Yeah.
And thanks to you, brother, because the DJs around here, you know, hip hop is a scene. The DJ scene is a different scene, in my opinion. It's a different scene. People play hip hop, and so you have the capability, you have the skills to be able to spin hip hop, and that's the important, you know, that's what makes you a part of the hip hop scene. But the DJs around here have vision and they have control of what they're doing, especially shout out to DJ Static, DJ Divinity, Pressure, like we talked about. Mm-hmm. Those folks can create, they can cultivate experiences out here that draw people in.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize how important that is.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely important. And I mean...
You do that too, brother, you know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, and it's... I think most DJs would consider it like an honor. It's a pleasure to do it, you know?
I love to watch it. I love to see it, man. I'm blessed to be exposed to. I'm the train spotter out there where, you know, I'm the young guy trying to just see, you know, learn things. And so I'm watching the DJs and I'm listening to the sets and what they're playing next and everything like that. And around here, man, you go out to an event, you're not going to be disappointed. I have never been to a DJ Pressure event and been disappointed. I have never been to a DJ Static event and been disappointed. I've never been to a DJ Goldylocks event and been disappointed by, you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys hold it down. Hey, hey, nights happen, brother. If it all depends on what you're judging it by. If we were judging by the turnout on October 28th, then they would be like, oh, you know. But regardless of that, bro, you went up, you killed it, bro. The whole time you were holding that shit down.
No, it was fun to be hanging out with Chuck and playing records. Like, I like events when I get to collaborate with other DJs. It's really nice when there's more than one because we feed off each other's energy, and that shit it'll make your event better. I'll tell you that.
That's it. DJ Chuck will make your event better. Shout out to DJ Chuck out here. He is a dope dude out here. You know what I'm saying? He is doing dope events. He works with, he does the Jam Hip Hop Thursdays. Him and Love Strong, unless I'm wrong. So shout out to Chuck, man. Chuck has been a staple out here. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just have a lot of respect for the people that do find the bravery to get up in front of people. It ain't easy.
I mean, it's unique that you can like kind of hide a little bit behind the music, you know, and I think you see that a little bit in a lot of DJs. We can get a little introverted sometimes if we're feeling anxious. Like, I mean, you have good and bad days, you know, so it's like once you put yourself on that level where you're actually going out and doing events all the time, I mean, there's a certain pressure that you can feel that can be a little frustrating, but you know, for the most part, I think it's really fun to like be able to go out and do it. And there's so many talented, like I think you see such a great energy between Static, Pressure, and Divinity is because like they get to collaborate all the time. You know what I mean? It's one of the cool things about the Fat Boy Cypher too. Having a guest DJ, having a guest producer, was nice. Mm-hmm. Last time I was over GMG, we just did 2 beats. Every 2 beats it switched. And it's nice. It just gives you a moment to like take a break, see like what this person's doing. Like, all right, dude, I got you coming up. And like, yeah, good shows have good DJs, especially multiple ones.
Yep. Yeah. And again, Humboldt County, you know, hey, when y'all are booking DJs out here, you know what I'm saying? You know, I just want people to recognize the value of a DJ. It's the first pillar. It's the DJ sets the tone for the entire event. The DJ can make or break your event just like a sound guy. And so have respect for the DJs out here. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not easy work. It's not like work. Again, you're improvising. You're painting these beautiful pictures where, like you said, Goldylocks, not every picture's, not every night is perfect.
It's funny you say that, though, because, like, what I'm thinking of, it's funny, like, when people hire me to, like, come do, like, private events, it's always great. But it's often the event where it might just be, like, a large community function where, like, yeah, you get a couple people that, I don't really know. I don't know what the socialness is of it, social science of it is, but yeah, you're always gonna have a couple bad experiences. It's funny. You gotta roll with that shit, though.
That's right. I'm the type, I like to just observe. I like to, a lot of the time, just fall back and observe. And so you just really, like you just start laughing at people, like how people act, and and everybody's, coming from a different place socially, and different, whether it's trauma or experiences or what have you, and they think things they think are okay are not as okay.
Well, I mean, I've been doing it for long enough where I've gotten to have, like, a lot of great experiences, things to fall back on, like knowing what's appropriate, and what isn't, and picking your battles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I do a thing out at the roller rink that's an adult skate night, and it's like one of the only things that I do that's like, nah, it's just for adults. Like, leave the kids at home, and I like that.
Love that roller skate rink event.
It's really fun, and we turn Blue Lake out. And it's funny though, just because, like, I don't have that opportunity very often. Especially with doing radio, I'm often constricted to, like, being very censored. So it's nice to just really let my hair out and just have fun, do whatever, and kind of, like, really just have, like, I don't roller skate. That's, like, one of my other things too. Because I love skateboarding, so I would just like, well, I mean, what if I had a longboard and I could just roll and just cruise and, like, skate around, you know what I mean? And
free, yeah.
I kind of try to pick things that have, like, that bounce and that, like, I would like to move to that, so.
Hey, that's the wavelength that Goldylocks is on, y'all. I want to make sure y'all tap in with Goldylocks. Book him for your events. Tap in with him because he knows what he's doing around here. He's one of the best DJs around here. And Humboldt County is blessed and thankful to have DJ Goldylocks.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm blessed to be able to be here. It's like, it's I think I've said it too many times already, but it really is an honor to just be a part of my community. Yeah.
That's what's up, Goldy. Hey, man, we're blessed to have you, brother. Between the Congress, between everything else, separate from the Congress that you do, man, I'm telling you, we are thankful for you.
Thanks, David.
Yeah, family. Hey, man, keep it up, brother. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I just love to see it. We all need people like you out here, genuine souls. That's one of the things that when I talk to people about Goldylocks, every single person has just said, man, Goldylocks is just the nicest dude.
I mean, I appreciate that. It's nice to hear. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're all just trying to, like, transcend trauma and be, like, the best versions of ourselves. I feel like I'm really privileged and lucky to be able to do certain things I do, but I'm trying to just represent Humboldt County in a fair and, like, honest way. So I think people kind of pick up on that,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like whether it's good or bad, I try to be authentic. And I feel like that's a very common, understood way of life for people in this county. So I think that's how I somehow make these things. I don't know. I think that's somehow how I'm existing. But yeah.
No, I love it. You are definitely an embodiment of Humboldt County culture.
And I mean, I just feel like it's nice to be able to amplify, like, great things, whether it's music I'm experiencing from some crazy source or if it's coming from right here in my home. You know what I mean? Yeah, and then, I know I'm very lucky. I don't understand that at all. I don't understand how it's happening. Sometimes life does feel a little, don't get it, but
Hey, that's how it is, especially when you're somebody as special as you, brother. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know, life is going to bring you beautiful things. It's going to bring, you know, it brings the waves, right? You know, but I feel like you're one of those genuine people that knows to ride the good waves.
Bro, I grew up right next to the beach. I can handle the tides. I can swim. I float.
Yeah.
I float.
Heck yeah, brother. Well, hey, I really appreciate you and your time tonight, bro.
Dude, thanks for having me. It's great. I'm super excited to like start getting onto these producers and DJ podcasts.
I'm stoked to see where it goes, brother. I'm thankful for your time with it. Make sure y'all tap in with DJ Goldylocks if you're interested in being interviewed for the HipHopHumboldt Podcast and you're a DJ or producer. Tap in with Goldy.
Yeah, and if you know, if you're an artist out here that is trying to get some exposure in like a healthy way, hit me up too. So we can talk about, you know, what is like appropriate for like just right. Because I do have standards. I got standards.
FCC again.
I got that standard. I mean, just also, and just, you know, I want people to put something that they're proud of. If you can look me in my eye, so to say, and tell me I'm proud of this, that means a lot to me. You know what I mean? So that's the type of music that I want to promote, and it's not hard. It's not hard, and so many people around here making it. So if you're an artist and you're trying to like just have like certain ways of exposure, man, shoot it to me. Let me somehow find out about it, and like I'll do my best. I feel like that's the best part about that platform and that show. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
And now you got the options for things that might be a little bit, you know, whether it's less savory, more vulgar, or what have you. You got the podcast, you know, let them know.
There's always a home for something. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I mean, just because there's so little of it, I feel like I do have to walk a little bit. I feel like it's my job to like not facilitate what's good or bad, but just hopefully keep people from being offended. So hip hop isn't further shunned or like stereotyped in this area.
It's a fine line to walk. I appreciate you for acknowledging it and speaking
real tough.
on it.
It's real tough, man. It's real tough. Like I think about what it's like to be recorded and have people listen to the things that I say. That's crazy. And like I think that's one reason why I could never be like an MC or a rapper. I mean, I guess in ways I could, but
the scrutiny of it, man.
I hope people would understand if you ever hear me on some Larry June having fun with my friends, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a time and a place.
Hey, but you deserve to be able to do that too, man. What's real about it is not everybody, just, you know, the public deserves to hear that.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Hey, brother, I appreciate you, bro. Make sure y'all tap in with DJ Goldylocks, tap in with the HipHopHumboldt Podcast. Until the next time, y'all.
Peace.